Okay, okay, everything's good. Let me make sure that I read, I get over into Mcconnell's Discord, and we'll look through the AMA. Nice shirt. Thank you, man. Okay. Where is McConnell? There he is. Okay. Yo, what up?
What a fucking joke of an AMA, dude.
Wow. You didn't like it?
It was bullshit. It was curated bullshit.
See,
it's a
like,
fucking joke.
I've only read, like, one answer. I haven't even read a lot of these things. So why didn't you like it?
Because everything was... It's either... Number one, yes, he's a scarab lord, but we also have to remember he's a lawyer. So he's very calculated in what he says, okay?
True.
And everything's either... Yeah, it's either... Listen, dude. You can't trust a word that comes out of this guy's mouth. It's either wait... Everything basically boils down to wait and see, or we fucked up, but we're not going to change it. So go ahead and read. Go ahead.
Okay. It's kind of accurate, by the way. I'm WoW game director Ion Hayakostas. And starting at 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, around 8 minutes from time of this post, I was supposed to answer a ton of questions and concerns that feel unanswered right now, and a need for a much more robust communication on our end. I'm happy to begin that discussion here today, but I'd like this to be the starting point of a sustained effort. Joining me today are Lore, Kyvax, that's the boss in Aldir, and Yethesens. Huge shout out to WoW moderators. Okay, so that's basically what it is. Did you get him to answer any of your questions, McConnell?
What? I'm banned on Reddit.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know, you can't win them all. All right. So let's see. Azerite armor. To be brief, it doesn't appear that that the core ideas behind Azerite armor pieces are working out well in practice. And in some places, this seems to directly conflict with the state of design that we've heard from the WoW team in the past. There's really 3 key areas in which this system doesn't work well. We have a system now where you can get a piece of Mythic plus 20 item level. Okay, so basically the item levels are the traits are too powerful or too weak. The traits themselves are underwhelming. Bleak outlook that we're going to be forced by sheer necessity onto the Azerite grind treadmill for the entire expansion, simply to keep re-unlocking the same underwhelming traits that we already have as we upgrade our gear, simply because the gear upgrades force us to, and not because grinding Azerite is actually going to give us anything new. So basically, they give you a bite of the carrot, and then they take the carrot away, and they say, walk 10 more fucking miles, and then they give you another bite, and it's the same goddamn carrot. Okay. So let's see what Ian has to say here. Sorry, I cheated. We're currently not happy with how the system is playing out, and all of those are very valid concerns. We agree that it's a problem that someone took, for someone to look at a 30 item upgrade under normal circumstances and feel like it's not worth equipping. I know the risks of sounding like a cop-out, but a few of the problems you've outlined simple boil down to tuning. That's actually true. Whenever you get to Heart of Azeroth 18, the process will become increasingly fast as the weekly catch-up mechanism continues to ramp up, effectively letting you get AP 30% faster with each passing week. So why would you play now if it's just going to get faster? I mean, what is the point of this throttling mechanism? Like, what is this throttling? Like, why does this... Like, what is the point? I mean, it just keeps, like, Blizzard...
It's to keep you playing.
But does it?
No.
It's not working. Then you can activate the outer ring of any item in the game, and that's where the most powerful traits lie. That was by design. So let's look at a powerful trait, guys. Just 1 second. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, this one right here. So look at this right here. Whenever you dealt damage 10% of your maximum health, you gain 111 avoidance and 160 armor. So this is up basically 90% of the time whenever you're doing mythic raids. And it's up 100% of the time whenever you're a tank. This seems like it's very, very substantial, and it's not just some sort of a baby dick bonus. Just because it's not DPS doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. So the idea that everything that's important is on the outer row is completely untrue. But let's go ahead and we'll go to the rest of this. Outer. That's an inner ring. Like, what do you guys mean? Like, have you guys ever seen a tree? Like, this is an inner ring. You've got 1, 2, 3. This is the 3rd fucking ring. How is that not how is that the outer ring? Yeah, it's got Thunderous Blast. This is a really, really good item. But let me just go with the rest of it, okay? Super Dash Chat, okay. Where this breaks down to... Or wait, let me read the rest of this. There's a ton of primary stat on Azerite pieces, in part to bolster the importance of the item level there, and the power of traits is directly proportional to the item level. The item that contains the item, so a 370 Holdir item will have 30% more powerful trait than a 340 Holdir of this same item. What this all breaks down to is both the traits on a 370 piece is going to be worse than the ones on a 340 piece, reducing the number of situations in which this is the case when the top priorities right now. So they're going to rebalance the traits to make them less... to make there less of a difference between like the best traits and the worst traits. We made hundreds of unique traits for BFA and 216 specific traits for the outer ring alone. Many of these are undertuned.
Oh, no shit, really? You think adding 15 damage to each Crusader Strike is undertuned a little bit? Fucking idiot. Anybody can see that. They've been working at Blizzard for fucking 12 years. They can't understand, like, oh, we squished everything, so maybe we should just reevaluate how we view the numbers a little bit. Nope.
Is it really plus 15?
It's literally plus 15, dude. It's fucking garbage.
What year is this? Would that even be good as a tier set bonus from vanilla? I don't think it would.
It probably pretty good, actually.
Well, it didn't have Crusader Strike in the game, so it wouldn't be at all. But, I mean, like, even if it did, it would still be fucking terrible. Like, plus 15. Oh, wait, no. Oh, you can stack them. Oh, my God, dude. What if you had 3 of them and it went all the way up to plus 45?
Whoa, dude. You know how long that takes?
Well, it's never going to happen.
It takes 10 seconds.
What do you mean?
To get the 3 stacks of Crusader Strike, it would take 10 seconds, man.
Oh. I thought you meant... No, I mean like 3 of the Azerite traits on 3 different armors, right? So like the helmet, the shield...
Nobody's doing that. Nobody's stacking up Crusader Strike fucking Azerite powers.
Well, they're stacking them if they're a rogue. You've got rogues that are one-shotting people at the beginning of the expansion.
Well, yeah, but they fixed that.
They fixed that after the ladder went live. That was perfect. Okay, let me see what we are here. Many of those undertuned, a handful are overly powerful to the point where they stomp out the entire decision space for the spec. True. And the game becomes about getting a piece with one specific trait. We'll be fixing the outliers on both ends, probably buffing dozens of weaker traits and nerfing a handful of 2 strong ones. So that means that Thunderous Blast is going to get nerfed. While the generic traits are deliberately straightforward, some of the spec traits are indeed too passive or interact awkwardly with spec rotations. We'll be retiring some of those in an upcoming patch. Let's see, a big part of the current problem, if you look at the guide, and most of the recommended traits for your spec are various flavors of proc damage on your target, proc buff on yourself. Yeah, it's really underwhelming. No argument here. Was Mcconnell low?
Yeah, I'm really low.
Okay. Just a second, let me turn you up. Okay, try and talk now.
Hi!
We're good. Okay. So let's see where we're at here. But there are dozens of traits out there with deep interactions on par with Legion Legendaries, old set bonuses, or gold border artifact traits, such as interactions between abilities and resource generation, in ways that vary rotations, talent selection, stat priority, and so forth. The problem is that they are mostly too weak and don't feel worth using right now, but we can fix that. In terms of long-term prospects, we see the current system as a foundation upon which to continue building, not a treadmill to throw out there and let pass waste it for the rest of the expansion. We'll be adding loads of new traits and future updates. So, what did you think about this answer, Mcconnell?
Well, it's literally wait and see. It's wait and see. Like, it's so dumb.
You know what my favorite part about it is that the guy asked 3 questions. And the main question about the endless treadmill, there's a bleak outlook that we're going to be forced by sheer necessity on the Azerite Gear treadmill for the entire expansion simply to re-unlock the same underwhelming traits that we have today. He never said anything about not having to do that.
Dodged.
He never said anything about not having to do that. You think about that, boys.
Trust me, that's a recurring
really
theme
gets the noggin jogging, huh?
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's a little bit disturbing. Okay, let me read some of these. What was the draw with Nighthawk? Oh, don't worry about it, man. Thanks for the 5. Shady Sam, what do you think about adding justice points back to the game and use them to Warforged Titan Forge your gear? Yes, obviously I would be okay with that. Visuda Best Minion, thank you for the resub too, man. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I would love that. I think everybody would. Hope you're feeling good today. Thank you, man. I appreciate $3. Thank you. I started playing WoW in Legion, and now I'm happy as fuck. Blizzard is worse than EA company now. At least EA is honest about their greediness. True. Cool Nickname donated $50. The sad reality of current video games feels bad, man. Creating all these slot machines with the attention span, for the attention span of a goldfish or Fortnite players. Well, that's right. Basically, every video game nowadays is designed to encourage or basically motivate a child to take their parents' credit card and to attach it to their account and spend their parents' money on new skins in the game that they're playing. That's really all it is about now. That's it. First time I donated to anyone, but you deserve it. Second, I'm sick of calling you, sick of you calling Fury shit because you suck at it. It's still, so here's the thing, right? Is that even if I played Fury perfectly, it would still be substantially worse than ARMS. So, I mean, like, I'm sorry, you can't argue with numbers. I mean, it's on Warcraft, on Warcraft logs. It's not as bad as I might make it out to be, but it is very, very bad. And that's why every single part is completely dominated by ARMS warriors. That's it. Working on 4 of the Paragon mounts for farming since day one. Got over 35 openings to each box. Asmon said, RNG, thanks for $2. I appreciate that, man. Need advice, but I don't like you, but I like your content. What to do? Just keep sending me donations whenever I say something you don't like, okay? And then I'll respond to it. Just keep it up. Thanks, Berg. Appreciate that. This whole AMA was basically, it's only worth playing the game in the last patch. Well, okay, we're only through the first question. So let's keep going.
Oh, sorry, I can't laugh like that.
Well, why?
I don't want to copy anybody on the website.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. That laugh was that laugh is copyrighted. Okay?
Yep.
It's a copyrighted laugh. As someone who participated in the beta and personally submitted multiple bug reports and feedback about various issues, I can't help but feel that I wasn't the only one who was testing feedback and was ignored. Let's not even talk about how it feels that every 5th quest item has a typo or some kind of shit, almost like it hasn't been proofread. So he didn't even capitalize. Well, I guess it's not a video game, but I think it's kind of funny the fact that he had that wrong. I wanted to ask, what is the reason that the game launched in the state that it was, despite the issues being known? If these issues were reported, why is the expansion still pushed forward in the state that it was in? The beta testing period for BFA was so much shorter than the previous expansions, and it shows. Was this just an overestimation of the development team's part, or what? Going forward, do you plan to continue with the goal of a faster expansions, or is it a discussion about any previous method of a slower but more testing approach? Okay. I'm going to be honest, Mcconnell, I don't know what you think about this, but I actually don't mind whenever they release a buggy expansion. Like, I'd rather them release a buggy expansion than just play the old expansion.
What? No, dude.
No?
The only reason you like this is because you got the fucking elite transmog set the fucking first day Old Deer came out and nobody else had it. Fucking piece of shit. Fuck you.
Dude, that was a nice set, dude. I love that set, man. True. Okay, all right, let me read the rest of this. Each WoW expansion is larger than the last in terms of sheer amount of data and things that go into it, and human error along the way is inevitable. It sure is. There are over 30,000 bugs entered and tracked over the course of BFA's alpha and beta and release. 95% of those have been fixed. Like, well, what about the bugs, like... What about, like, Gul'dan's platform, like, being broken for 2 years? What about that?
I got a better one for you. I got a fucking gigantic one for you. How about the fucking fact you still cannot skip the scene in Throne of Thunder on the fucking bridge? You gotta go all the way around and drop down. You can't fucking skip it and just drop down. You gotta fucking... Oh my god.
That actually is true. That is legitimately fucking true. I'm sorry to say, yeah, you have to jump around for the bridge. So what about the cage in Maw of Souls? Remember that? And it only got fixed after they what do you call it? After it happened during the MDI. I mean, imagine having you know, being a company, a like being $100 company and putting on a tournament in front of tens of thousands of people, and the game bugs out, and every single person in there that played the game knows that this was going to happen. They knew it was going to happen, and they put in tickets, and Blizzard fucking ignored it, and it went into the game. Here's why I think this is bullshit. Because you can't say, cool nickname, thank you much for the 5 gifted community subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Here's why I think this is bullshit. Thank you so much, man. Because they buffed arms mastery by 1,000%. That's not a bug. It's very clear that they did not put a lot of effort into balancing this game. So I don't think it's unreasonable for me to assume that that lack of effort also translated into fixing bugs. So let me give you another example. Mephistophelios in Cathedral of the Eternal Night, before the second MDI, maybe the third, I forgot which one, had his damage from Solitude, that's like the thing that he would cast on every single player, reduced by 90%. 90%. What the fuck? I mean, really, like 90%. That's such bullshit. Moros Garot too. Yeah, I did. It's very, very clear that they're not testing this. They're not looking into it. They're not even paying attention. I don't even know if they're doing it. Like, I wonder if they've even done Cathedral of Eternal Night. Like, maybe they've done it once on the beta, and they're like, oh no, it was 5. We did it on a +3 with, the stat templated characters. We're up to item level 1,000. These players just can't handle it. And then meanwhile, everybody else in the fucking game is complaining, and you've got these Blizzard dick riders that are saying it's too easy. Meanwhile, the highest Mythic Plus they've ever done is a +7. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm just so fucking tired of it. A Mythic kill Jaden. Yeah, and there's another question. I read part of the, there's an answer about that too. I'm just so fucking sick of this. All right,
well, let's keep going. Yeah.
Go, yeah. Let's do a 24-hour stream. Okay.
Fucking 15 minutes on the fucking half
Each
paragraph.
question, yeah. Okay, player reports on PTR Biter and Live are essential to our work, but they also come at an inherently high signal-to-noise ratio. We've had tens of hundreds of thousands of people providing feedback, and we're just a couple hundred developers all in all, so we physically can't directly process all of it. Well, we just want you to directly process some of it, right? I mean, like, and maybe if this is a problem, maybe you should hire more people. I mean, if you literally cannot process the amount of bugs that are in the game, and the game has to be released while it's buggy, I feel like that is a point where you need to hire more people. So what do you say? You're saying that, well, you just have to expect that the game is going to come out and be fucking broken? I mean, come on. What does that mean? Okay, let me go to the rest of this. Physically can't process all of it with arms talents. Yeah, that's easy. Well, I'm not saying it's easy, but I mean, like, what else are you supposed to say? I mean, really? Okay. When it comes to bugs, due to the overall complexity of WoW, what seems like an obvious bug to a player may actually require specific timing or a sequence of events, interaction between multiple players. So whenever the QA analyst investigates or reports saying NPC X is stuck and won't follow our path so the quest can't complete, and spends an hour trying various approaches but can't get the issue to occur, that bug may be filed away as could not reproduce. As we move on to one of the other thousands of bug reports, then when millions of people hit the quest on live servers, may crop up again in a way that gives us enough information that we may be able to isolate an underlying cause and deploy a fix. So this actually is completely true. And this is a very, very logical and reasonable thing to say. That obviously they're not able to really pinpoint what's going to go wrong, because I don't think that we're ever going to be in a world where there will never be any bugs. There are going to be some bugs. That's the way it goes. But it just matters like how often they get fixed. And also there are some bugs in the game that's like, spelling errors, or like here, I'll give you a really, really good example. So here's a bug that's in the game right now. And this isn't something that requires a lot of complex interactions or anything like that. It's a bug called This is completely wrong. Defeat Mythrexion, Raveron, and Old Deer with no player touching an existence fragment spawned by another player on normal difficulty or higher. The truth is that this achievement actually requires you to do the literal opposite. The literal opposite of what it states in the game. There is no reason why this shouldn't have been changed. Imagine all of these people going in there trying to do the achievement. They have to go look this shit up on Wowhead and figure out that some guild or some group took 4 fucking hours figuring out that Blizzard literally led them in the opposite direction that they were supposed to go in. There's nothing to do with like, oh, well, there's a million different moving pieces. No, you just literally delete and then replace. I don't get it, man. And maybe that's part of the difficulty. Maybe, if Ian came out and he said, listen, the old gods are very tricky, and they were able to infest the minds even of our developers to give you a reason and to lead you down the wrong path of evil. And they're trying to confuse you with the achievement. So not only do you have to figure out the achievement, but you have to figure it out whenever the developers and the game developers that's in the game that tells you what to do, that's not even true. See, that would be 200 IQ. I wouldn't even, like, alright, that would be annoying, right? But I would think that was funny if they did that. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think somebody just fucked up. No, let's be honest. That's how WoW has been made since 2004, and nothing significant has changed there. Except our capacity to hotfix issues directly in the live servers, whereas in the past we would have to wait for a full patch. When it comes to things like typos, those will mostly get fixed in our first major patch. Since our game is localized into many languages for global release, we get the later stage. Yeah, nobody cares about that. Okay, let's see. Finally, so here's a typo that actually was bad. Gahoon was spelled wrong with the Vontis rune, and because you remember that, McConnell?
Yeah, dude, it didn't even work.
Because it was like G-Hun or something like that. So the Vontis rune would not activate on Gahoon because it didn't have the same name. Yeah, it was, yeah, Goon. I mean, okay, dude, okay. I found that bug in BFA. Yeah, of course. Okay, let me see here. I know we have an endless, okay, here we are. I know there will be skepticism when I say this. There would
no shit. No shit, dude.
But the pressure to release content is solely driven by our desire as developers to keep you all happy.
Bullshit.
Well, let me reread this, okay? This guy's a lawyer. But the pressure to release content is driven solely by our desire as developers to keep you all happy. So does that mean... Okay, let me just read the whole thing first. That's all. Blizzard prides itself on maintaining high quality in its products, but one of the quirks of a live service is that quantity and timeliness of the product are part of the quality. We could literally always add more content or polish things further, but at some point we have to draw the line, or you'd still be on Argus waiting for the next thing to come. I know we have a history of endless final tiers, but I genuinely don't think what happened with Siege of Orgrimmar or Tannen in HFC were acceptable as a player or as a developer. What do you think about that, McConnell?
I mean, it might be true. I don't know.
I think
Does he really care? He's gonna get paid either way. Who gives a shit? Why would he care?
Well, so... I mean, you can't tell me that the pressure to release it is only on the developers. Of course, I mean, like, what company doesn't set benchmarks for releasing a product? Like, every company that like, I mean, even at the government, we had benchmarks. Like, you really think this company that's held by stockholders isn't going to have benchmarks and when they want it out? I mean, I don't think that's true. I mean, come on. I think, like, things like this, it's just like, just say what it is. Just be like, yeah, we had to get it out early and it wasn't, that done. Like, I mean, if they said that, it'd be like, okay, well, fuck you, but all right, whatever. Right? I hate getting lied to, man. Okay, let me see here. City Project. Well, I don't know what that is. I'm sure individual developers, Blizzard, care a lot. Not everyone does, especially the higher-ups. Well, I mean, okay, let me go to the rest of these. Okay. Island Expeditions. Island Expeditions.
Ooh.
Remember those?
I love those.
Same. It's just too bad that Blizzard doesn't. The rewards seem lackluster and the expeditions themselves are extremely repetitive. Are there any plans to make improvements or changes on the expedition system? Edit, beyond the changes to drop rates that were announced 10 minutes ago, more gameplay-wise. Yes, we're applying a hotfix that makes the various cosmetic bonus rewards more common. Oh boy. Island Expeditions represent a stab of entirely new content, and we're planned certainly continuing improvements and refinement on the system over the rest of the expansion, as well as new locals with varied mechanics to explore. In particular, we want to add new events to increase the variety of experiences players have jumping into expeditions or rerunning the same pool of island eggs repetitively. We've probably all had that giant clump of azurites, stalagmites, and elementals pop up a zillion times. Well, of course that we all have had that, because that happens every single game about 3 or 4 minutes into the game. That happens literally every single time. So yes, you're right. We've all had that because it happens every single time. It's scripted. Every time. It doesn't exactly help Bella since you never know what's going to be around the next corner whenever you see it 4 or 5 times in a row. We're going to be looking for how we spawn islands from a layout perspective to add a little bit more variety from visit to visit. We've heard feedback that the pace of expeditions in general feels too frantic, and the go race to gather Azurite detracts from the ability to really explore your environment or fully process the events that are unfolding. Ultimately, the Horde versus Alliance theming of the expeditions in particular requires a competitive feel, which we know isn't for everyone, but we'd love to have explore the underlying tech, which expeditions are built to other settings that don't have the same pacing.
What tech? What super duper fucking sucking my cock fucking tech is on expeditions? They have NPC programming. That's already done. The fucking, oh wow. The enemy NPCs can jump now. Holy shit! This new tech is amazing!
Did you hear about Sneaky Pete? Oh my god, he goes invisible. Whoa! Oh my god, I can't wait to kill NPCs that do 1 extra ability. Oh my god, it's Sneaky Pete. He's here again. I'm so mad. I mean,
nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. The only good thing about Island Expeditions is the PvP component, and that's the only thing that Blizzard doesn't seem to care about. In short, future Battle for Azeroth updates will include not just more content within the existing structure, but refinements on that structure. We've been following all the feedback closely and in general have been 100% focused on working on the game that we haven't had a chance to come up for air to discuss our thoughts with the community. That's sort of a recurring theme lately, I realize. Yes, I do too. So, okay. What are they saying here? Well, let's look at what they're saying here. They said that Island Expeditions are too frantic. That's the only thing people aren't saying. They're saying the rewards suck. They're saying the Azurite is repetitive. They're saying everything. And that is the feedback that you take out of it. Like, I made a fucking post about this. Like, when was this? When did I make this fucking post? It was so long ago. And
it was last week.
That was a while. That was a long time ago, okay? Like, I forgot all about that. What I mean is, like, I did this post a long time ago. And this is like, and everybody agreed with it. Everybody agreed with it, except for like a couple of dummies. Nobody cares about how fast it is. They want the gameplay to be good. It doesn't have anything to do with the pace. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Like, they're two unrelated things.
I saw this guy in chat, I forget his name, but he was like, I love hearing non-devs talk about coding. Dude, show me on Expeditions where the new shit is, man. What, just because different NPCs can spawn different places? That's not fucking new. That's not fucking new. There's nothing new in Expeditions, man.
Listen,
show me.
Okay, look at this text here, okay? Do you think that we have not been in college for 8 years for computer science. We do not understand the amount of effort, time, and all of the moving parts and pieces that go into changing the text on an achievement pace, okay? This is just, you cannot just come into here and say, oh yeah, all you have to do is type delete and put the actual thing that's supposed to be in there on here. No, I mean, you have to go through 8 years, you have to go through an internship, you have to work your way up, and then maybe you can type delete and type in the right goddamn thing. Okay? We just don't understand. That's it. We just don't understand. It doesn't take a chef to tell that food is spoiled. I'll try to keep it more brief than the last time, and I won't ask about shift roundhouse as requested. Are defensives like Touch of Karma and Shield of Vengeance intended to be a major part of Spec's damage? For example, it's easy to find Windwalker raid parses of a variety of skill levels where Touch of Karma is 10 to 50% more of their overall damage. Do you think that's healthy for the game? Any plans to address this? No, we don't think that's healthy. I like that.
Yeah, me too. Like, what is he talking about? Like figuring out ways to use your abilities to do more damage is fucking interesting gameplay.
Stand into fire, DPS higher.
Right. Well, yeah, if you have Shield of Vengeance.
Or the old Berserker stance, or AMS. So here's why I don't think that this is bad. Because it creates a conscious decision for the player to make. The player can either choose to use their defensive ability defensively or offensively. And that decision is based off of that player's, I guess, familiarity with the fight and how good they think they are. So if somebody's really, really good and they think they can use AMS to stand in the fire and do more damage, they don't have AMS later on. So it's a higher risk for a higher reward. So I think that's cool. Okay, that's why I think that it's good. It's a similar situation in the gameplay AMS used to yield for Death Knights. Defensive with a backlash component are interesting space to explore, but whenever your defensive gameplay turns into actively seeking out sources of damage, that's pretty degenerate.
This guy's... I think Ian's been on pole a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
I guess so. So he's saying that I'm a degenerate. How do they do, like, what?
I mean, that's better than being a deplorable, right?
I mean, they're both pretty bad, you know? I mean, come on. I just, like, here's the thing. I don't understand. I don't understand how that's not cool. And also, like, I really think it's a bad idea for them to base their entire, the way that they make classes off of parses, because people that are doing things on parses are not playing the game in a normal way. So I think that they're going to try to, like, they're fixing an issue in the game that I think is enjoyable and interesting for most players because of a top 1% that use it in a way that they feel is not what they intended to have them do in the game. So that's what I think. Top 1%? Well, yeah, I think it's definitely is a top 1%, 100%. There's no way that a lot of people are doing this. Parsing is not normal. No, it's not.
If you don't play the game in a way that Blizzard thinks you should,
yeah,
you shouldn't play that way, obviously.
Top 100%. No, what I'm saying is, like, most people don't raid, most people don't parse, most people don't care. Most people don't do this for parsing. There are so many concentric circles that you have to go through to actually isolate these people that are using this in a way that Ian thinks is degenerate, that they're going to be changing the game in a way that I feel is detrimental for the majority of the player base in order to prevent an interaction that I don't think is bad in the first place. Does that make sense? Let's go to the rest of this. Oh, are you eating?
I had one Andes mint, dude. It was one
Okay,
Andes
alright, well,
mint.
that's what they said, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I was just wondering. Okay. Hi, Ion. I am the owner of Big Dome Guild. I spent a lot of time studying every detail of your game, and I'm hoping you can talk about the internal processes of system design decisions. 2 questions. Raid Q&A testing with Fed being mathematically impossible in the first 10 hours of progression on US realms before receiving 2 substantial nerfs. I'm hoping it's possible to shed some light on your internal QA process for cutting-edge raid bosses. We expect buds, but the balance problems with Fetid and his bugs were all reported during the 2 PTR tests. KJ had a similar problem, and some argue that this is WoW's buggiest expansion in general since vanilla. There are plans to improve these. Are there plans to improve these? WoW system homogenization. 3 previous expansions fought against class homogenization. What are your thoughts on a continuous system homogenization in WoW? I'm talking about things like World Quest, Mission Table, Mythic Plus, LFR, artifacts, forced personal loot, less loot agency, forced camera distance, forced abilities on the GCD. Memes aside, class flavor is at a high point through Azerite and talents. I don't know about that. I thought class flavor was better in Legion, personally. I know consistent system makes content creation easier and faster, but whenever you over-systemize the game, it removes diversity from the game's experience, and it makes for a less social player experience. It makes the choices between guilds less distinct, the connections between players less impactful, the world less immersive, and it makes communities less likely to form organically. There is a difference between quality of life changes and system overhauls that trim the fat off the game, and I think that we've all learned from Stake Fat is what gives it flavor.
Yeah, fuck you, chat. I have tons of flavor. Piece of shit. Fuck you guys.
All right. McConnell's the mayor of Flavortown. To BFA's credit, the expansion has been saved by the addition of new and interesting systems, particularly surrounding PvP and expeditions. True. I think the next expansion warrants a reevaluation of nearly every PvE system currently in place. Nearly? Which one does it not require a reevaluation of? Okay. So just looking at the length of this post, Ian is not going to answer the questions that I think matter. So let's go ahead and let's read it. Yeah, the first few hours on Fetid were pretty rough. We do a final tuning pass right before Mythic opens based on the latest data we're seeing from players in the live environment during the first week of Heroic. That last minute change was simply had some bad math to it, and the result was the boss was legitimately mathematically impossible. Sometimes memes can be true. The second nerf was a bit different. The boss was killable before that last 10% change with a bit more gear and Voluntis runes, but for a boss 5 of 8, a DPS check that required the very best guilds in the world to play perfectly and also get their players to 370 plus item level was just going to be too much. So we made another adjustment and feel pretty good about where it stands now. We have an internal test team, including a number of folks that used to rate at a world top 10 level, that helps us immensely with the tuning and functionality parses on each boss. McConnell, I'm going to type you something, okay? I want you to read this and tell me what you think.
Okay.
You can't.
Is it ICUP?
No. So after I said that, what do you think about their internal testing team?
Oh my god. Do I know him?
I'm gonna type you his name in Discord. I'll type it to you. Just a second. Where are you? I didn't see you on Discord. That's who it was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. So, right at the top
I
of
can't
world.
leak that.
What?
I'm not gonna leak that one.
No. That helps us immensely with tuning and functionality parses on these bosses, and we complement their experience with data from PTR testing from Heroic and Live and past experience, and general rules of thumb regarding how much better the best guilds are compared to our internal team. Sometimes we go wrong there. For example, we'd gotten some new additions to our team right before Kill Jaden and didn't realize how much better the group had gotten. So when we applied our usual X percentage buff for Method being way better than our internal team, we overshot that mark. I'm not entirely clear on the second half of the question, but while it certainly has a core of systems, leveling up questing, max level questing quests, and we've added new pieces to that mosaic over time, we're not looking to change those up just for the sake of change. Well, how about for the sake of making the game better instead? But obviously, where we feel like we can do better in a specific area, e.g. war mode to spice up world PvP, we will. So here's what Sko said whenever we did the Allcraft episode with him after they killed Mythic Kill Jaden. He said that the timing and the way that it worked on Mythic Kill Jaden, it would be impossible to do even with the best gear possible. Because it had to do with the timing, and it had nothing to do with the actual damage. So, I'm going to believe him. I'm sorry to say. What do you think about this one, McConnell?
About their internal rate testing team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably trash. They have no fucking idea what's going on there.
I'm sure some of them are very good.
I'm sure most of them are garbage.
It's a possibility. It absolutely is a possibility. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. But it just seems a little bit, it seems a little bit questionable to me. Let me just say that. A little bit questionable. Not going to change for the sake of change, but what happened to classes then? Well, they are changing things for the sake of change. Why are they removing tier sets for the sake of change? Why are they changing the way that legendaries work for the sake of change? Like, there's always a reason behind it, but ultimately, tier sets were in the game for 12 years. 12 years they were in the game and it was fine, and then they got rid of them. Like, they change things for the sake of change constantly. Like, what do you mean? I don't get it. Okay. Let's see here. What happened to Paragon reputation? It seemed like a decent concept. Even if there was a room for improvement, you can farm Legion World Quest for better part of a decade without getting Paragon mount. Yeah, that could use some improvement. Right now, though, I'm already exalted with 7th Legion. Gotta get my Dark Iron. Oh boy. Island Expeditions Warfronts are mostly meaningless due to this. But I still get 7th Legion follower missions just as I get the obnoxious supply crate quests in Boros. Xandar is mostly useless as well. Half the expansion zones and several expansion features expired by a single reputation farm. Seems like it could be improved. Okay, alright, what did he say? The Paragon system in Legion felt like a way to keep reputations relevant for those who wanted to continue doing outdoor content or missions later on in the expansion. We plan to reintroduce this system for BFA reps in an upcoming patch. Yeah.
Turn it on right now.
What?
Just turn it on right now. Just turn it on.
Well, here's what I don't want them to fucking do. It's like World Quests right now, at least in Legion, World Quests are fun to do. Like, in BFA, I have zero fun doing World Quests. Like, I just don't enjoy them. They take too long. It's like, remember the World Quests in Drustvar? I talk about this in the video that I'm making. The World Quests in Drustvar, where you have to kill pigs.
Yeah.
Each pig gives you like 3 or 2%, and you've got to fill up a 100% bar. Or you've got to knock down 30 or 40 fucking pigs to get this shit done. Like, how many fucking pigs do you need to kill? I mean, really? Too many goddamn pigs. And you can click the dream catchers for 5%, and there's the big pig that's actually a waste of time because it takes an hour to fucking kill because of scaling.
And fuck scaling too.
And fuck scaling too. Any chance of introducing bad luck protection for the Paragon? I'm sitting at 100 or more caches and I still don't have any damn mounts. That's probably not true. It's really quite... You know what? Can I look that up? No, because I can't see how many chances he did it. It's really quite disheartening, and frankly, I'm considering just stopping right now, even though I'm a very avid collector, doing the very same thing that takes me longer than just farming some dungeon boss, even with an army of alts and getting no reward anywhere in sight is terrible design. Let's see if Ian responded to this. Have no use at all or limited use of Expulsum, Hydrocore, and Sanguicell. Do you have any future plans to make the aforementioned reagents usable by more professions? This is something we've been discussing a bunch. On one hand, we'd like to add a way to at least get Hydrocores through doing non-mythic dungeons so that the professions that do have a use for them don't feel like they hit a brick wall in their crafting if they only do match-made content. That's true. But I don't think... I really don't like the way that Blizzard is, like, trying to... Like, I don't think... Here's my opinion. Like, besides random battlegrounds, I don't think match-made content in WoW has made the game better in any way. Like, in any way. It is purely... Well, I mean, like, alright, it has made it better in some ways, but the negatives outweigh the positives. So, obviously, in some ways, it does make it better, but overall... I think the negatives vastly outweigh the positives. So this match-made content they're trying to push, and the idea that they're trying to make match people that don't even want to play with other people in the game, giving them more things to do, I really worry about that. On the other hand, it's awkward to be swimming in Sanguicells with no use for them as an alchemist or an enchanter. I don't have a specific fix to announce right now, but we're discussing plans to address that problem. Well, that's good. Okay. What do you think about that?
I could give a shit less about professions and shit like that.
You don't like them?
Yeah, I couldn't give a shit less.
Why
actually.
not?
Who cares? Professions haven't been relevant since fucking BC. Like, who gives a shit, man? When they removed the fucking shit where you can, like, pick a spec, when you, like, chose a profession, you could, like, pick a spec, right? You could pick, like, fucking armor specialization or weapon or whatever.
And then axe specialization, sword specialization.
Yeah.
You remember that? That was fucking badass.
That shit was cool, but, like, they got rid of it, and so why would I give a fuck?
Good question. Very good question. I've been feeling suicidal lately, and I've been wanting to end it all. You saved me, donated $2.61. Don't kill yourself. It's a waste of time. My PP itches. Itchy PP donated $5. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Your mom's not going to be happy about you taking your credit card, though. Thank you guys all for the resubs, too. I really fucking appreciate it. I didn't like WoW, but I like watching your stream. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that, too. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Asmon, you look fucking beautiful today. Your chat, not so much. Wait, wow. My chat, everybody in my chat is like a Chad, man. They're like male models. Like, we've got we've got over 20,000 Zoolanders in my chat right now. Okay? Like, keep that in mind, man. It's easy to change errors and achievement text, etc., but if you want them to fix every tiny bug like that immediately, maintenance Tuesdays return to maintenance hours all day of day. It was a complicated process. It's things like this. Well, I think that we're like looking at two extremes. So what I'm saying is that the extreme of them not changing even the achievement text shows to me that they're not as dedicated to fixing these bugs as they say they are. And what you're saying is that if they were as dedicated as they possibly could be, that the game would never go out of maintenance, which is true as well. I feel like they should meet a better meeting point, reach a better meeting point, and figure out these bugs in a more realistic way. Oh, CMJR back sub. Thank you much for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, dude.
Not even 20? Not even 20 gifted subs?
Oh, come on, don't say that, dude. Don't say that. Like, I mean, he's trying to help out, man. He's being a nice guy. I'm really happy that he's doing that. Thank you very much, man. Casual, thank you much for the sub, too. Thank you very much. How many subs you got? I actually lost like 1,000 or something like that yesterday because a bunch of gifted subs expired. Okay, let me read here. I've been feeling so low lately, and I was close to killing myself, and I ended up coming across your stream, and I started to turn over a new leaf over a few months. Now I'm playing WoW when I can and still tuning into your stream. But P.S. You saved my life. Well, I'm certainly glad about that. You saved my life. And thank you for the 261. I appreciate that, dude. I mean, like, really, I'm glad. That's another viewer, man. So don't kill yourself because I need more viewers, okay, dude? Like, please do not. It's purely in self-interest. And I'm sure you're not that bad of a guy either. I sent you a letter in WoW that's 500 gold in the same message. I finally figured out how to use my PayPal. Anyway, I'll get to the point and ask if I can get unbanned. I made some spurgy decisions and I fully regret it. Thank you in advance. Message a mod and they can figure it out for you, okay? But yeah, I'm fine with unbanning you. It's not a big deal. MC Ramrod, thank you for 500 bits too. Would you think that the WoW dev would watching his streams and be like, oh shit, write that down? No, they're probably just mad. They're probably like, man, I hate this Asmongold guy. Like, this guy is such a fucking idiot. This guy is the worst, man. Like, yeah, I mean, that's...
They really do hate him.
I really think they hate me. Like,
they do.
I mean, you think about, like, all this stuff that's happened. I'm, like, 90... All right. How many percentage sure do I think that they hate me?
95.
I think there are some people at the company that think I'm great. But the majority of people... They would be very, very happy. Like, I'd say, like, 90% of the people at the company probably fucking hate me. And the other 10% are like, oh, that guy's pretty cool, you know? That's what I would kind of assume. So, let's go back to the professions. Professions have been useless ever since Burning Crusade. Mcconnell, you're completely right. They're dog shit right now, but at least they have a couple of things that you can work towards that are kind of useful. So, at least this is a step in the right direction. The Sanguistels, I think, are a step in the right direction. Okay? Ingam, continuing their sub. And Albertino, thank you very much for the sub, too. Thank you guys both. Where's the rest of these? As I have mentioned in this illustration. Okay, let's look at the illustration.
I saw this. Holy shit, dude. I saw this.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's see. What is this? For the desert dwelling Scrappy Vondai, the Horde... what is this here? I don't know if you guys can read it. Gets a brand new hyena clad in new bone armor. For the mysterious sea priest of Storm's Wake, the Alliance gets a dappled horse with armor stolen from Cataclysm Windrake. Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
No!
The armor's completely yoinked from the fucking drakes, dude.
Okay, but I think this is stupid for him to say because Alliance can get this too. Like, Alliance can get this same model. I mean, they can. That's stupid. So let me read the rest of it.
That one has bones on it.
The other one does too. It's just different colors. It's not the same color, it's the same model. It's the same with this one. For Talanji's expedition, the faction fighting the Blood Trolls get to ride the horrific Blood Feasters in the battle. The Horde gets a flying brand new stolen blood swarming. For the Order of Embers, the faction fighting the Wicker Witches that ride into battle on Wicker Beasts, the Alliance gets a horse, with armor stolen from the Demon Hunter Fellsaver.
Yep. Hey, they're producing some fucking juicy content over there at Blizzard, dude. I'm telling you what, man. Holy shit. They got the best shit over there. $1 million company, by the way.
This is almost like it's the difference between an in-game mount and a store mount. Let me go to the rest of these. Okay, so let's see here. For their main dinosaur-riding, golden-clad Zandalari faction, the Horde gets a flying brand-new gold and bone-clad Pterodax. And for the main seafaring sea monster fighting faction of Kulturas Proudmoore Admiralty, the Alliance gets a horse.
That's another one.
That's another one.
That's another horse.
Wow. I don't know, man.
There is one small correction that the Pterodax can't fly, but still, the only other Pterodax.
Really, like even it can't fly, like even like Stormwind or something.
The whole reason you get it, the whole storyline is that it's like a fucking defective shit, and so once you get exalted, like you have to like help it grow or some shit, and then it can't fly. It can't fly.
Okay. Let's just compare the zone drops now, shall we? This is stupid. Okay. Wait. Okay. Ultimately, every other horse in this expansion goes through the same problem. Okay. It can fly? Oh, people are saying it can fly.
No, they're wrong.
Okay. It's too much of a suit of armor. Okay, that may... Oh, no! Exposed! Oh, no! Oh, no! Wow! Okay. Lastly, the Alliance has already been given the HD models of the horses through the updated Guild and Mountain Horses, so the new assets we receive from these rep grinds, gold dumps, and rare drops is even less. I think that's reasonable to say and reasonable to be upset about to an extent. I mean, I'm not like a a big fan of this, but I think that it's also like partially an issue. Absolutely. Okay, let me go to the rest of this. Oh, this is just a small thing, right? So basically, this guy is not happy with the mounts. Okay, let's just go ahead. We're not going to read through all of this. He's not happy with the mounts. If you're dead set on horses, the community seems particularly excited about the idea of water horses of real-world mythology. No, bro, we just want Pegasus. Like, just shut the fuck up with a water horse. Who the fuck wants a water horse? Nobody wants a water horse. Get the fuck out of here, water horse. Just give us Pegasus.
There already is.
What do you mean?
There's already a Pegasus mount in the game.
No, there's not.
Yeah, it's called the Hearthsteed. You just go get it.
That's not Pegasus.
You just go get it, dude.
It's not Pegasus. At all. It's completely fucking different. Invincible is not Pegasus either. Okay? Come on. When we make a new expansion, we look at the broader ecologies of the new zones and identify which creatures would make cool mounts. However, at the start of recent expansions, before flying can be earned, we also avoid giving out models that work really best with flying. Well, I see that. Why? I mean, what do you mean? Okay, as it turned out, the Horde Bestiary had a lot more ground-based models, which led to the first wave of rep mounts being skewed, but we plan on rectifying that as the expansion unfolds. Speaking of which, that bee is pretty wonderful, isn't it?
Oh, suck my dick, Ian. Listen. Oh, here's your carrot. Oh, here's a carrot, dude. You want the carrot? You want the carrot? Oh, how about the bee mount, huh? Oh, you gotta keep playing. You gotta keep paying the $15. Hey, keep playing. You want the carrot or not, dude? Fuck you.
So what that means right now is just keep paying for the game. Eventually we will release the expansion. Thank you for responding, though with all due respect, my question has not been answered. And it doesn't get answered. Okay, so let's see what else, let's see what this guy says. The broader ecology of cultural zones include wicker beasts, sorrowlisks. Ooh, that's true. Crabs, bears, and serpents just for the ground mounts, and then falcons and hawks. Conversely, there are no wild horses in Kulturath. Ooh. Ooh, that's true. Okay, why were none of those considered over horses again? Crab Mount would have been unbelievably cool and could have been easily used the same skeleton as the Blood Feaster did. As it turned out, the Horde Bestiary had a lot more ground-based models. Only one of the Horde models is ground-based. I really don't know what you're talking about here, but we plan on rectifying this as the expansion unfolds. I assume this means you add more mounts, but did not resolve the problems of the existing ones. I appreciate the addition of the bee, but it doesn't change the incredible dead weight that these horses are in my journal and on my time and gold and on my imagination, to be honest. If so, why do you believe that a copy-pasted state of the Alliance mounts and armor and their status as ordinary and largely untextured horses is unreasonable, especially when the perfect alternatives exist, both in existing models and in concepts that wouldn't require an unreasonable amount of editing and of the base horse model? Even a gaunt texture, seaweed coloring for the mane, and glowing eye effects would turn any horse into we'll see, I don't know what that is. Yo, Mcconnell, that would be a great idea. If they made a Fjord Mustang.
Yeah, they get, they would get sued over that, wouldn't they?
No, because it would be an F-Fjord, not a Ford.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can get sued if you say something or if you make something called the Fjord Mustang.
There's no way. There's no way, dude. They've done plenty of other stuff like that before. Like, there's no way that they're gonna sue them. There's no way. Okay. I think that'd be really funny. It's called parody law. Well, I don't know, but all I mean is
it's already in the game.
Oh wait, what?
Nixie 93.
Ooh. Thank you, dude. Okay, let me make sure that I didn't get too behind on these. Thank you guys for all the subs, too, by the way. I really, really appreciate all the subs. Why is Mcconnell giving his opinions? He's too shit at the game to have any opinions that are relevant to the AMA. Look, man, just because he banned you in his chat doesn't mean you have to get mad in mine. But thanks a lot for giving me the $2 and let me know how you feel. Gotcha, Guru. Thanks for the $5. Appreciate that. If you want to experience this in broken WoW BFA, try to do the Leper Gnome Toy Boss and Gnome again. Trust me, it's grade A stream content. Bring the biggest stick people that you can get. Oh, that'd be fun. We actually should do that. That'd be fucking hilarious. Almost forgot to use my Twitch Prime. I swear it's been longer than 3 years. Thank you very much, Beats, for the resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been playing WoW for a long time now, but watching your streams have made me want to get better at the game, as well as give me something to watch with my college workload during the lunches. Keep it up. You are the best. Thank you very much for the 5 Centuro. Thank you, thank you. Tell Mcconnell to check his Discord PMs, Peppy Hands. Okay. Just a second. I'll make sure that I get all the rest of these. Sorry, guys. Hearthstone is literally called Pegasus in the German WoW client. Pegasus is in the game. No, it's not. That's wrong. Is McConnell a virgin? Why? Like, who's interested? Don't worry about it. Explain to me who you are as a person. That's too much, man. I gotta read these, okay? Thank you very much for the 5, though. Yeah, what do you mean, who I am? Like, okay, let me go with the rest of this, okay? That was a really great answer, wasn't it?
No.
The Dirk Donger, thanks for the sub. Appreciate that. Okay, let's tackle some real issues. Okay, based off of this means they're probably not going to tackle the real issues. Okay, so what does he say here? What do you plan to do to eliminate the rep grind on alts? All right, many players are dissatisfied with the current new Azerite systems, with wire classes pushed forward clearly unfinished. Okay. All right, so we'll stick with that. We're often torn when it comes to questions about alt progression and alt catch-up mechanisms or account-wide systems. Philosophically, what's the point of an alt? For one group of players, the primary desire is to jump into participating in-game activities from a different perspective, a PvP alt or a healer alt, or an alt for a change of pace from a usual DPS main, or whatever. In that context, almost every required progression can feel like a nuisance, an obstacle in the way of the desired endpoint of being raid ready or arena viable. For another group of players, an alt represents a fresh set of goals to pursue after the point of reaching diminishing returns on a main. Whether that's someone who hits max level and then promptly begins leveling another character, or someone who doesn't have that many available gear upgrades left on their main and hops over to an alt where they can progress once again more quickly. For this type of player, the more things that are account-wide, the fewer new goals they have. Well, that's actually very true. Whenever I level up new characters in BFA, the main thing that I want to reprogress on is Champions of Azeroth. Yeah, that's the main thing, dude. I really want to go over there and click those rocks again. Like, that's totally, like, that's it, man. That's it. That's the last thing. And I don't even want rep to be account-wide. I just want Champions of Azeroth to be somehow account-wide. Or for you not to have to farm it on every character. I don't think it's good for the game. Alright, let me read the rest of this. On the topic of reputation, the main question I'd ask is why most reputations feel mandatory on alts. Champions of Azeroth is the most obvious one, and we'll be adding catch-up mechanisms to that rep in particular in an upcoming patch. So that means that they are artificially extending content by not allowing people to have the catch-up mechanisms now, because they want people to just do it as much as they can, and then once people are like finally fucking tired of it, then they give you another bite of the carrot and they say, hey, do it again. Yeah, just keep waiting. Things take time to implement. Well, that's true, but that time should have been during the beta. And if they want a system like this to be in the game that obviously makes things a little bit easier and less stressful, then I think they should have put that in the game on day one, rather than making people do it over and over and over, and then once everybody burns themselves out on it, then they add it into the game. That's what they keep doing, and it's annoying. That's what they did basically with the Paragon boxes in Legion, and also in a lesser extent, but like kind of in the same way, with the artifact power stuff. They just keep making it easier, and it makes everything feel useless. It's frustrating to have your Heart of Azeroth lagging so far behind in power. Other than that, we've made several content unlocks, King's Rest and Siege of Borealis account-wide. That is a very good thing. I agree with that. I think the attunements to King's Rest and Siege of Borealis are very good as being account-wide unlocks. I think that's a very good thing. Couldn't they just make Heart of Azeroth account-wide?
Holy shit. Who said that? Who said that in the fucking chat? Who fucking said that? Mod that guy.
We should, right? There it is, dude. I think that makes the most sense out of anything here. Yeah, they should just make the necklace account wide. Yeah, just make the levels account wide. Problem solved. For AP and Azerite, it's an ongoing weekly reduction, and also I would make it you didn't have to worry as much about playing your alts. Like, you could play your alts and then work on your main, too. That would be amazing. Yeah, that would be amazing. I would work in, like, 3 different ways. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Yeah, I love it, dude. Account-wide once you get to 120? No. It should be account-wide as soon as you get the item. That way, you would get an extra bonus whenever you're leveling, because you have this awesome piece of gear. And that's a reward from having a max-level character, so it makes leveling up easier. What the fuck, dude? Literally no downside to it. No, there is a downside. What is the downside? It doesn't keep you playing quite as long. Unless, of course, you want to think the idea of being able to work towards something as a shared goal across all your characters that's able to help you in every single different character in every aspect of the game, and be able to slowly work towards that incrementally no matter what you're doing, would be an actual reward, and it would keep people playing the game. I mean, I don't know who would think that. I mean, that's ridiculous. But, you know, maybe it would work.
Thanks to 1,000 bits, Chef Ashley.
Oh.
To you.
To me. Oh, okay. That's smart and too fair for Blizzard, though. True. This is just depressing, but thank you and Mcconnell for all the entertainment. Love you guys. We love you too, Chef Ashley. Thank you very much. Heard about the bug in Motherlode last boss. Whenever the ad spawns in transition phase, he only spawns outside of the battle and will reset the entire fight. Great for Mythic Plus runs PogChamp. Oh, I didn't hear about that. Okay, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's another thing that will take, obviously weeks of time, and, by the time the first MDI happens and it resets on the MDI, then maybe they'll fix it. But we'll see what happens. Thank you guys all for the resubs too. Appreciate that. Thank you, boys. Where's the rest of these? You didn't read my bit donation. Asbelch, I'm gonna read it right now. Where is it? Can you give me an address so I can please kick your butt? If you give me another donation like that, I'll ban you from chat. Probably should do it right now. Curie, thank you for just $5. Appreciate that. I feel like this AMA is pointless. They're not going to give you an address of core gameplay issues that the game has. I feel like I went back to level 100 instead of 120. Their class design team screwed up big time, and there's a ton of bugs, and no one likes the GCD changes. That is very true. That is very, very, very true. Yeah, weird donation. Yeah, I should... Yeah, I probably should just ban that kid. But I'm not going to worry about it right now. It's not a big deal. Okay, let me see the rest of these. Yeah, what a weird fucking kid. Yeah, I think the GCD change is shitty. Mcconnell, what do you think about it? Now that it's been in the game for a while, what's your opinions?
They're garbage. What do you mean?
Okay. Alright. Yeah, same. Soon a fresh 110 alt will be able to do their expedition weekly and get 3 Heart of Azeroth levels straight away. Well, that's going to be great, because then they won't be able to unlock anything that matters. But in BFA, it's a bit less obvious in the Legion version, where AP rewards were scaled up into the billions. But in BFA, yours is essentially 30% more effective with each passing week. We do want to strike a balance between offering meaningful progression and wanting to avoid tedium on alts. You need to worry about avoiding tedium on your main. Like, it's not fun just leveling up the Heart of Azeroth by doing island expeditions. It's just not, it's not good. It's just simply not good content. And why is Heroic Island Expeditions still better for AP than Mythic? How fucking stupid is that?
And also, you have no idea what the drop chance is of any of the items from Heroic or Mythic. So you don't really know if it's better to do Mythic or Heroic, if you're trying to go for the items or pets or whatever.
Alright, just keep playing the game. Just hey, keep pulling that lever, boys. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Hey, yo, $15 every month. Oh, whoa, woo! Fuck that shit.
Poogers! Poogers!
Poogers! I'm just so fucking tired of this RNG, like, fucking slot machine bullshit. It's like, it's a giant fucking Skinner box. I'm just so tired of it. Okay. Alright, finally on the class front, I'm not sure any class is in... Alright, just a second. Finally on the class front, I'm not sure any class has ever been something we'd say is finished. That's not true. You finished Fury Warriors in 5.4, and also you finished Fury Warrior in Nighthold. You finished Arms Warrior in 5.4, and also 3.35. You finished Prot Warrior in the first patch of Mist of Pandaria. That was it. You were done. It was over. It was done. Like, all the abilities, it was done. You finished it, it was finished. It's done. Okay, like, you didn't need to do anything else. It's finished. Next one. There's always room for refinement, tweaking talents, and to improve unpopular ones or fix rows that feel dead because there's just one dominant choice. Fixing awkward mechanical interactions, adding new tools, and so forth. We do have plans in the works for the classes that you mentioned, informed by both of these communities' feedback and data from the first month of BFA. I do wish we could have gotten to addressing the feedback sooner, and I'm sorry for that. It feels like you're last in line, but hopefully the end result will be worth it. So that means that it'll be ready in about just keep playing the game with the dysfunctional classes, and eventually we might fix them. But by the time that we fix them, we'll have a new expansion out, and we're going to break them again.
Yep. See? I told you before we even started. It all boils down to basically just wait and see. It's fucking sad, man. These people at Blizzard are so fucking lazy, it's pathetic.
I don't know if they're that lazy.
They are fucking lazy. Hey, did you guys know that the super cool season reward fucking dope ass fucking mount that you get from arenas? Hey, did you guys know what? It has no special mount animation at all. Nothing. It's got nothing. The River Beast, it's nothing.
No, that's not true. Look, I'll show you what it does. Listen. Wait for it. Hey.
They fixed it?
Do you hear it?
Wait, is there an animation or no?
Yeah, there's a sound. Listen.
Right, but where's the animation?
Shh. Don't scare him. There it is. There. You hear it?
No.
What, you guys can't hear it?
No.
Okay, just a second. Let me take this off for a second. Okay, listen. Listen. I'm gonna turn it all the way up.
I'm listening.
You hear that?
That's the mount special?
No. He just randomly does it sometimes. Listen, listen. Shh, don't say anything. Oh! You hear it? You heard that, right?
So basically, the mount sniffs a little bit sometimes. You can't make it do anything.
It doesn't do it doesn't do what you want. It does what
So
it wants.
I was right, basically.
Let me see what it does if it takes fall damage, okay? Let me try that, then we'll go back to it, okay? Okay. What is it? Alright, listen. That was impressive. Okay. Alright, that wasn't too bad. I don't
Okay.
mind that.
Now type in /mount special.
Okay. Alright, here we go. Here's /mount special. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
I'll do it again. He resets back to his original position.
So there is no special animation for the new season reward mount for PvP.
No, he just occasionally grunts. This is all. This is all he does.
Okay.
This is it. This is all he does. Okay.
Okay.
It's great. All right. So that's the new mount right now. Pretty nice looking mount. Awesome, amazing. He's a cute boy. Yeah, I like him. It's just he's not necessarily. Blizzard did not put a lot of work into this mount. Okay, let's just say. Oh, he eats grass. He doesn't eat grass. He just puts his head down a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna grab the rest of these. Okay. So, all right. So this post that Ian made got a negative 182. That's a big negative. On the topic of reputation, the main question I'd like to ask: why reputations feel mandatory on alts? Well, that's because you make them mandatory by locking power gains behind the alts that are not engaging at all the farm. It gets better. No, it's okay. Wait till you reach Shaman answer. For me, I've spent the last 10 years building up a massive bunch of exalted reputation in my main as a warlock. I feel like I can never just switch away from her because of that. Right now, I'm mowing my monk as a class, but I look at the reputation pane, the Baron of exalted reputations, and it just feels like a waste of time playing her when I could be further progressing my warlock's exalted reputations instead. What does this guy play for reps? Get the fuck out of here. The same goes for Demon Hunter whenever it's reintroduced in Legion. I imagine whenever you introduce a new class as well. Characters I make new classes of will always feel incomplete to me. If you made legacy reputations account-wide and current reputations as they are, so I'm gonna say something that might be a little bit controversial. I do not think they should make reputations account-wide.
What?
No.
I agree.
Yeah, of course. I do not think they should make reputations account-wide. It's like, you go over to let's say you go over to your favorite restaurant. And you're like, yo, it's me, Bill. And everyone's like, yo, Bill, that's our boy, dude. Bill comes in here all the time. We love Bill. And then Bob comes in here later on. And he's like, yo, I'm Bill's friend. And like, Bob's cool, right? Like, okay, what's up, bro? But it's not like he's the same as Bill. Bill and Bob are two different people.
No, it's not. Bill is mind controlling Bob and making him walk in there. That's all it is.
That still makes they're two still different people. You go in there, they're like, who the hell is Bob? We only know Bill. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. I feel like it breaks immersion a little bit too much. And I don't really like the idea of account-wide reputations, but I do like the idea of catch-up mechanisms for reputations. I just don't think they should be fully account-wide. That's my opinion. Champions of Azeroth should be? Probably. But besides that...
I don't understand. They fix, like, look, I know you shit. You literally take a big, fat, nasty, fucking Taco Cabana shit all over Mop, right? But one of the best things they did in Mop was they had
the commendations. Yes, they had the comment. Look, I'll show you guys. Look, they had the commendations. Where's Miss Minar? See, you had bonus reputations. Your account is unlocked bonus reputation with this faction. Yes, they should add this back into the game. Mop did a lot of things right, and they did a lot of things wrong. Okay, I'll give you there. I agree with your view on rep. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Think about Bloodsale being account wide. That would be awful. Yeah, there's that too. Okay, so let's see this upcoming. Oh, what was the other one? This is pretty highly rated. You keep mentioning this upcoming patch a bit. Can we get an insight on a timeline for this? Nope. Okay. All right. Next question. 2 questions about the Azerite system. For some adjustments, for some traits, number adjustments will be sufficient. Others, as you note, may require more redesign. The requirements are staggered slightly based on slot, where one slot might require 16, 19, 22, and 25. Another one might require whatever, such that an artifact level is more likely to unlock a new trait than just being a passive itemable increase to the heart.
Man, I honestly thought when Ian stepped up to be game director, I was like, dude, this is going to be amazing. He's a Scarab Lord, he's a fucking OG, he's a grinder, but it's shit.
Swolly Goals, thank you very much for the resub. So let me get this straight. You want to artificially, what do you think about BOA rep tokens after you reach Exalted? Great idea. I feel like the accommodations would be better, personally. I prefer accommodations. So let me get this straight. The reason that you made the traits different is in the hypothetical situation that players would be able to have different armor pieces that the traits could unlock every single level increase. That seems... What it seems like to me is that they want to continuously create more and more steps that you have to go through. There's a link collection of sticky comment, all the links to Ian's comments if you want to scroll down. Oh, it's fine. I can find them all. Turn it up. Yeah, I'll turn it up a little bit. Just a second.
No, don't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's such a stupid line of logic. That's not what he was saying. Saying the helm shoulders should be chest. The issue is two of the same item pieces in the same slot can be the same. It's lawyer speak. He technically answered the question by assuming that they're different slots. I mean, I don't know why, like, they don't just make them all the same rather than trying to artificially gate things even more and more. Okay. Read donations? Okay, let me read donations right now. There's a link donation. Yeah, I see that. What do you think? Yeah, okay, I got that. How good is Fury Warrior right now? It's not. Thanks for all the content. Chat spam XD. Thank you much for the $5 and thank you, man. Chris Fair, thank you much for the 400 bits. Appreciate that. The game works as intended. Bugs mean time to work on a game, which means the player want to stay around just for the fixes, just to be disappointed once again. It's about right. Thank you very much for the 400 bits. I appreciate that, man. How would you rate Watcher Dev compared to old game directors like Calgan and Ghostcrawler? It's very hard to say because I don't really know how much influence he has on the direction of the game. So I don't want to just like shit on Ian, but I do feel like a lot of these answers are like they're not good enough. I don't really think so at all. So it's hard for me to say. Get Ghostcrawler on Allcraft? Yeah, I wish, dude. Okay, let's go down to the rest. Shamans as a whole have fundamental issues reflected in actual available statistics that have raised many eyebrows as to why it's taken so long to get any communication regarding the state of the class. Currently, both DPS Shamans are at the bottom 6 of 7 of overall damage in Uldir, consistent with Mythic thus far. With the lack of unique raid utility, damage, and durability, Shamans have no presence in high-end Mythic and Race. Note that the number of combined logs compared to other classes... Resto Shamans are the lowest in overall HPS and tank HPS both, again consistent with Mythic. And they used to be kings of raid healing and raid CDs, and now, even with Spirit Link Totem, high-end Mythic guilds aren't bringing them to the race, and lower-end guilds opt to take extra holy priests or monks as they do the shaman's job 10 times better. Aside from Disc Priests who can opt to go holy, Shamans have almost as many logs as the historically underplayed Mistweaver monk. On the Mythic Plus front, Shamans have the lowest run frequency, and when set to a 10 keystone level and above, the numbers are much, much worse. So let's see what the numbers are.
Holy shit!
Oh no!
Holy fucking shit!
That's bad. So... Wait. Can I...
Dude,
400... Oh my god.
Dude, that's how bad it is. You literally never hear fire mages or demo locks complaining because nobody
plays them anymore.
Nobody's playing
They're
them.
gone. They're gone. Oh my god. Look at Feral Druids. 700 Feral Druids. Look at, and Warriors, like, overall are probably one of the least represented class in general. This is terrible. Like, what about tanks? Oh, look at that. Look at that. I love that. So my class is the worst at tanking. It is... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, 5. So it's 6 on DPS. I guess DPS isn't really that bad for Warriors. But tanking, it's literally the worst role and the least used role is tanking. Wow. Why am I not surprised? That's pretty sad. It's set to plus 10 keys. Well, yeah, of course. That's the only thing that matters. I mean, who cares if you're doing like plus 5s? Of course, people can play anything in plus 5s. But this shows the viability of a class whenever the damage and the output actually matters. Druids are ripped too. Yeah, druids are pretty bad as well. Isn't this just representation? Well, yeah, but are you really going to make an argument and say that representation is not a representation of how good the class is? I mean, come on. Do what?
What?
If nobody's playing a class, that means it's probably bad.
Oh, yeah.
Shamans are essentially a dead class right now. That's actually true. That's why they have Ankh, because they die so much. They actually have a built-in battle res because they die so much. And the general player base is so keenly aware of this that having a hex color on your name means that you will be shunned from competitive PvE content in pugs. Major community and theory crafters like Sunderman have quit the game citing negligence due to class balance as a major factor. You said changes would come during 8.1 for enhancement shamans and maybe elemental, but the entire class is in shambles right now, and this must be addressed much sooner. TLDR, what is being done in the immediate future to prevent shamans from sliding further down the slope of irrelevance, and can we get some details on what to expect? Okay, let's see what he says. We have some further overall short-term balancing to do. We can't fix mechanics and rotational issues that way, but whenever it comes to numbers, we'll definitely be looking at shaman performance in the near future. Okay, so they don't care.
So they don't give a shit.
They don't give a fuck, dude.
They don't give a fuck about you, man.
Oh,
but
no.
Hey, keep paying, though. Keep playing. Pay your $15 a month.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, if they don't do that, I mean, they won't be able to see what's going to happen, right? Yeah, it's kind of sad. Miss Dono? Let me read it. That's fine, man, for 700. Thanks, dude. I just, like, you know, for somebody that, like, puts himself out there, like, any sort of, like, a threat of, like, violence or, like, a real-life thing is kind of acute. So I do apologize if I overreacted, but you have to understand that, you know, you say something like that, people are probably going to react in a negative way. So 23,000 people waiting for a hippo to fart. Yeah. Thanks for the $3, man. Appreciate that. The game works in... Okay, yeah. Thank you. What do you think BOA... just a second. Let me read the rest of this. Sorry. I'm a little bit behind. Oh my god. Okay, what do you think? BOA rep token is... Okay, I read that one. Okay, good. Alright, now I am. What about making rep server? No. Okay. Shamans are literally in a state of fuck my shit up, fam. Brendan Fraser would be proud. It's really kind of sad, isn't it? While I have to run rep on more than one character, you guys wouldn't make it a week in vanilla WoW. I could hear your tears for a few days while you're still leveling. Is that right? Well, people didn't really play alts in vanilla WoW. I feel like the whole idea that vanilla WoW is like this super hard and difficult thing that people just can't manage to do, it's completely untrue. Like, vanilla WoW is a joke. Anybody that plays it seriously would know that. And anybody that thinks that vanilla WoW is legitimately hard is fucking stupid. There's only a few different reputations that really mattered in vanilla WoW. And if you go back, like, you only have to do them once. The rewards are guaranteed. It's going to be a joke. I mean, really, it's going to be a joke. The good thing about vanilla WoW was the philosophy behind it. Okay? The content and the gameplay was extremely easy. And you'll see that whenever the classic comes out. You'll see. Method said they won't be playing classic because it's too easy. What a surprise. Pretty sad that shamans are in a state they are, considering Ian's main is a resto shaman. That actually does make it even more funny. You'd think that he'd be on it, man. He'd be like, yo, dude, this class sucks, dude. Like, I've got to fix it. But maybe he just doesn't care. Or as Harvard
he doesn't.
It wasn't hard, just time-consuming. It wasn't even that time-consuming anyway. Like, if you compare the amount of time... Like, what was extremely time-consuming about vanilla besides leveling? That you can't just do with gold or something like that. Because I can guarantee you, I am...
Rank 14.
Rank 14? That's true. Yeah, rank 14 was very time-consuming. I'll give you that. Traveling? Yeah, I mean, like, running around is, like, very time-consuming. That's not really content or anything like that. It's just stupid. I don't know. I feel like all these people that lionize vanilla WoW are fucking delusional. It was a great game. I love it, and I look forward to playing Classic. But if you think that it's even going to be able to hold a candle to the gameplay that we have now, you're fucking delusional. Okay, next one. Regarding the Mythic Plus weekly cash. All right, let's see what they say. Did you get my TCG pet Little XT from Wolfenball? Love you, man. Oh, and after this, let me actually read some of these. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit further behind and distracted. I watched the show to get 400 bits to donate them to Mcconnell, but he hasn't been streaming, so I guess I'll give it to you what has left. Woolpine, thank you very much for the 300 bits. I appreciate that very much. On Pooms, I have that pet, so I'm going to send it back to you, okay? I don't need another one. Thank you very much. What sucks about Wrestler Shamans is that they can bring a lot of things to the table, but because they aren't good at other classes, even if you pull numbers people refuse to bring you, feels bad, man. Yeah, I know. It's what happens with a lot of classes. It's unfortunate. Okay. Regarding the Mythic Plus weekly cash, there are people in my consistent Mythic Plus cash that have received 370 Azurite pieces that are just not worth using as our 340 and 355 items due to having inferior traits. I assure you that this felt just as bad as only getting one item instead of three. We're also in a position that the dungeons are the source for a lot of the strongest traits for a lot of classes, making it likely that the Azurite piece that you may or may not get is likely to be a waste of your weekly cash. This is exacerbated by the fact that the cash is the most reliable source for a high-end weapon due to their inability to Titan Forge. Would a better solution to not have been to add one Azurite piece and one piece... Two items. One Azurite piece and one non-Azurite piece. Okay. Alright, so let's look at this. First off, some clarification on the Mythic Plus cash in particular. We wanted to make sure that the Mythic Plus focused players could count on getting a reasonable amount of Azurite over time and a purely random system that would have too much variance. The way that it worked during beta, during the early summer, was that there were 3 independent chances to roll for an Azurite piece, a weapon, and a guaranteed pull of non-Azurite, non-weapon loot. Okay. The chance to get an Azurite piece would increase over time until you got one. Bad luck protection in essence. The goal wasn't to make Mythic Plus more rewarding overall than it had been in Legion, since we feel like it's in a pretty good place. Being able to get an infinite amount of heroic raid quality pieces, unlike raids which have a weekly lockout, and a guaranteed mythic quality piece each week is kind of nice. I agree with that. The concern was the access to Azurite armor. Yes. Anyway, this system was observed by people who experienced a range of 1 to 3 drops, and we did hear feedback pretty quickly that so much RNG felt frustrating. We know that most people would only get 1 item per week, so we risk having the most common outcome turn into a feels bad moment where rather than celebrating your 30 item level gloves upgrade, you felt like you got screwed because you saw screenshots of people who got a helm, an axe, and gloves that week. True. That's almost like whenever somebody gets an item and then somebody else gets a Titan Forge and you feel bad about your item because it wasn't Titan Forged. That seems...
Oh, man!
Isn't that familiar?
Good. That's good. Hey, people of Blizzard, we know you're watching. Take notes, fucking morons.
We're sick of these slot machines, boys, and so is everybody else. You trick these dumb fucks. You trick these stupid fucking pug-like players with their eyes bulging halfway out of their head as soon as they see the idea of a slot machine. You tricked them for an entire expansion. And everybody shit on me, and now people are starting to wake the fuck up and realize that they're rats in a Skinner box and they don't want to be rats in a Skinner box.
Gamers, rise up!
Rise up!
Rise up, boys!
We live in a society! That's right. Let's go to the rest of these. So we consolidated the loot table to a single guaranteed drop, but we kept the bad luck protection for Azurite armor in place. If someone only does Mythic Plus as an in-game activity, we want to make sure that over the course of the tier, you're getting a healthy amount of Azurite gear. But does that have to do with the different slots? So let's say you get 3 helmets. There's like literally, you have 1 chance a week, and you can, there are 2 rolls that have to occur. Right? So the first roll that needs to occur, number 1, is the roll that you get an Azurite piece. And then the second roll that needs to occur is the roll that you get an Azurite piece in the slot that you want. And then the third roll, which isn't as important, but it is important, is that the item that you get for the Azurite slot that you want is actually an upgrade because it has the right Azurite traits. You see that? So it's basically, Okay.
I saw some.
I'm trying to.
Do you see that?
What? What?
Never mind. It's gone now. Never mind.
Okay. I'm trying to. Okay, is this one here? Okay. What I was trying to do was open up a slot machine game, like an online slot machine game, and I was gonna pretend like I was rolling for Azurite pieces, but every single fucking one of these, I need to log in with Facebook. So I'm not even gonna do it anymore. What was gonna be funny? I was gonna pretend like I was getting Azurite pieces, and I can't do it anymore. It's just annoying.
Fuck out of here, Lucy.
Who's Lucy? Wait, what? Just a second. Oh, wait, no. Oh, the vanilla guy is mad. Jigsaw saying, thank you much for the resub. I appreciate that. Rise the fuck up. That's right. Truth Punch 20 choice. You say that now when you spend a month straight still not getting rank 14. I will be laughing at your rant on Twitch as you're reading other people on the forums crying about how hard it is to achieve as you bash the game. Well, I'm not going to do rank 14 grind because it's not fun. It's not good stream content. I'll just do raids and get better gear that way. Like, I didn't plan on doing rank 14. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that because it would take too long. Like, it wouldn't be good content. Yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, maybe if I was, like, off stream or something like that. But everybody that's going to be getting rank 14 is going to be account sharing. So it has nothing even to do with, like, the amount of time that you put in. Like, it's just account sharing. That's what happened also even in vanilla back then. And even on private servers now. Just a second, let me make sure I go this. Okay, I did. All right, thank you, guys. Okay, let's look at the rest of this. Oh, wait, okay. The other part of the question concern ties back to my earlier reply on Azurite trait tuning. If you're exclusively looking for 1 or 2 traits because they're your best in slot, then the potential for frustration is pretty large. That's true. But if basically every single piece of 370 or 380 armor had at least 1 trait in the outer ring that was competitive, then an upgrade would be an upgrade. That's a problem that we need to solve. True. If you have a 355 helm equipped, any 385 helm that you should see should make you happy, even if it's not your theoretical best in slot item. That's true. I like that. Yeah. True. 13 months. Keep it up, bro. Electric Reflex, thank you very much for the resub. I appreciate that, man. As a final point, while I do know this may not sit well with folks who really just want to focus on Mythic Plus as their sole in-game content, the fact that it's harder to target specific pieces of Mythic Plus versus raiding is deliberate. As I mentioned above, you can run a huge amount of Mythic Plus dungeons each week without a lockout, and the activity requires 4 other people, as opposed to coordinating and scheduling a full raid group. Each format has its advantages. Mythic Plus awards far larger total quantity of loot with a guaranteed drop each week, whereas raids have a finite quantity but offer more control over targeting specific pieces.
I mean, okay, but if you're going to make it deliberate like that, then have the foresight to understand that the traits that you're putting in fucking suck dick, or they're undertuned. Because otherwise, people are just they're gonna get this gear and they're gonna feel shitty about it.
That's true. Very, very true. 3 months, man. Hope all is well in life. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I'm doing all right. Personal loot, though. Yeah, it's personal loot. How can you target anything if everything is just completely personal loot? You have no control over anything. You're just playing the game randomly until you might get a piece or maybe not. Oh, no, you have your bonus rolls, too. I forgot about that. High-end Mythic Plus is even harder than raids because there are less people to fuck up mechanics. They're both very hard at high ends. I mean, arguing about which one's harder, I think, is stupid. But they're both different. Yeah, so much control. So you can roll. See, the reason. See, you can either roll the dice, and it's a 20-sided dice or a 6-sided dice. But both times you're rolling the dice. Like, oh, and then you can roll another 6-sided dice once a week. Oh boy, that's so exciting. Okay. Let's go down here.
You know what I just thought, dude?
What?
You know how if you go to a casino or whatever, sometimes you get like a free pull right on the slot machine? That's what the fucking bonus rolls are, to keep you. They're to keep you gambling.
Oh, that's bad, dude. Jesus Christ, dude. Why'd you have to say that? Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm telling you, dude. Fuck Blizzard,
Oh
man.
my god, dude. Like, why do they have personal loot forced in the fucking game, bro? Like, what is this? What happened? Like, why are they so fucking clueless? I don't get it. This is so stupid. Okay, so tremendous downtime of Warfronts and a reset for World Boss intended. Such as it is, it's just a huge amount of time where nothing is happening. Any thoughts about allowing us to contribute during the attacker phase or something? Because as an Alliance player, it really sucks that after our one evening of killing rares and a World Boss, we're sitting around with nothing to do while Horde players do stuff for 2 weeks. And then he said, we did a poor job communicating in advance exactly how Warfront's rotation was going to work, since it was very different on beta for ease of testing features. The gap between player expectation and reality didn't do us any favors here. As a factual note, the whole cycle is likely to be more like 3.5 weeks, not 5. There are basically 3 stages you progress through as an attacker. So that means that every 3.5 weeks, you have a chance to kill a boss that can maybe give you an item. That's pretty bad. They're basically, okay, donating to the war effort, okay. Warfront active, able to queue. Zone control, can kill the world bosses for a shot at a 370 reward. 340s from rare spawns. There are 2 reasons why Warfronts are paced this way. First, it lets us give them generous rewards relative to other core content like dungeons without completely obsoleting that content. That's true. Second, we want to make sure most players feel like they have a decent chance to participate in each step. If the Warfront were to only be available for 3 days instead of 7, the whole thing would move faster, yes, but someone who wasn't able to log in for a few days would miss the activity entirely. We also do intend to add additional Warfronts over time, so these cycles will be interwoven in a way that hopefully makes it seem like there's more to do more often. So, what they're trying to say is that in an upcoming patch, it will be better. Is that what you're getting out of this, Mcconnell?
I told you. Didn't I? Yes or no? Did I tell you it would be wait and see? Yes or no?
Yes.
I know.
You did.
Be right back.
You did. Catering to the casual. Well, they're catering to people that aren't even playing the game. But, I mean, even I'm relatively okay with that based off of a little bit of this. But it's just so, like, I mean, like, why not just make them weekly resets? I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea. But I guess this isn't really that bad. But maybe whenever they have more Warfronts, it'll be okay. But I guess right now it does feel bad. It just seems like there are so many circumstances where the game is going to be better off like later on, and it's not good now. So like, what's the point of playing now if we're all just waiting for this kind of, you know, this mysterious patch that's going to come sometime in the future that's going to make the game good? What? This has been mentioned countless times in AMAs and forum posts. I want to get upgrades to be easy to determine. You want upgrades to be easy to determine. However, this is what my RaidBot sim page looks like for top gear. Okay, what is this here? So, okay, all right. I don't know really what that's supposed to mean, but okay. How am I supposed to solve the problem with all my best gear to wear without a program that simulates all the possible combinations of items? Let's see. Haste is good for my character. I'm not saying that random procs aren't engaging. They are. There is, however, a considerable large range of inconsistency whether or not the game gives you any information about what the proc change chance of a specific item and ability and trait is. So he's saying that it doesn't really tell you how often these items proc, so you can't really be sure unless you look it up online. Why was it decided that giving players more information was a bad thing? Sometimes I feel something like D3's advanced tooltips would be awesome. I shouldn't have to go to Wowhead or RaidBots each time I loot something. I should be able to see the numbers and try to figure it out for myself. Okay.
Wait.
What are we waiting for?
Horde got free 340 eye level equip after you hit 120 because Warfront was not locked at 325 item level. Night. Hey, Blizzard. Nice, dude. Nice meme. Suck a dick.
This is something we discuss a lot internally. And it's a massive challenge inherent to designing rewards and systems for a game that's as heavily analyzed and understood as WoW. Even without any sort of specific effects, traits, and procs, or like, high-end players will still sim and use items and tools like Pawn to decide whether a 10 item level upgrade with a different secondary stat is actually worth wearing. I think that we'd have to literally strip itemization down to stamina and primary stat and nothing else if we wanted it to be truly obvious without an external reference, which was optimal. That's true. And of course, that cuts directly against our own desire to craft interesting choices and the community's desire for customization and progress. The route we settled on is trying to minimize the actual gap in performance between someone who obsessively sims every possible choice and someone who makes intuitive decisions like equipping higher item level pieces and saying, that trait sounds good for AoE, while this one makes my single target finisher better, so I'll use this helm on Zool and that helm on Fetid Devourer. While those are gaps that are unduly large, it's seen with all of this 370 helm is the downgrade from 340 examples, we have to work on that from the front. When writing tooltips, we balance trying to give relative information with clarity. If the exact proc rate of overrolling power were contained in the tooltip, would you honestly be taking out a pencil and paper and calculating its effective uptime based on that information? True. So what they're saying basically, here's what they're saying. No, you'd not do that. They want to make it to where people that spend time researching their class and people that don't and that just kind of wing it are on pretty much a more equal level, which is something that I've been talking about a lot more, and it's been something that's been an issue for the game forever, right? Ever since I'd say like Wrath, where they spend so much time trying to remove the amount of power and growth that a player can have by understanding and knowing how to play their class. And that's why, for example, they made auto attacks do more damage. Look at this right now. You guys can't see it, but my melee attacks are number 1. Like, I can drag it over here, yeah. Like, more than anything, I do melee attacks. Like, that's my biggest attack, is I just sit there and I auto attack the boss. That was done deliberately, and I don't even think that's a bad idea. But the idea that it's a conscious decision for them to basically make it to where players that spend a lot of time researching their character can't really get that much better at it. The problem with that is that every single person that wants to spend any amount of time is going to have that time diminished because Blizzard has intentionally diminished it. Read the first comment. It shows why he said what he said was stupid. Okay, let me see here. But how is your spells and abilities have a chance to call forth a vanquished tentacle cocoon to serve you for 20 seconds sufficient? What does serve me mean? Is this a utility trinket? Obviously, most people assume that it just spits out stuff, but come on. I don't really care about this a whole lot, personally. This isn't a big deal to me if the tooltips aren't completely accurate, because you just click the trinket and you see what it does, right? I mean, you can just test it yourself. So this isn't a big deal. But I do think the idea of them trying to minimize and this is something that's like just prevalent throughout the entire game, right? With the Azerite trades, with artifact power, with gearing, with catch-up mechanisms and everything. Blizzard's main focus now, it seems, is to make sure that people are the same. Like, just there are all these different ways that Blizzard focuses on making players the same. That's it. Let me go here. Communism? Yeah, that's basically it. If everyone can't win, no one can. And if everyone can win, winning doesn't matter. That's basically what happens. Why can't Blizzard make Shadow great again? I don't know. Thank you very much for the reset, man. A disturbing amount of WoW's development time is devoted into eliminating the Listen to this. Chronotos, thank you very much for the $5. A disturbing amount of WoW's development time is devoted to eliminating the concept of skill affecting the outcome of your playtime.
What? Repeat that?
One more time. A disturbing amount of WoW's development time is devoted to eliminating the concept of skill affecting the outcome of your playtime.
Oh my god.
I think that might be a little bit too real. Yeah.
Why'd you read that?
I had to. I mean, he gave me $5.
That's a lot of money.
I know. That's what I had to do. That's really, really big. Felton Crafts, thank you very much to sub, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, dude. Okay, where's the next one? Question, can you please explain the reasoning behind the excessive time gating that seems to be present in BFA and older content as well? Oh, this is going to be good. All right, let's look at this. Let me make sure that I'm all caught up here. Can we also talk about how they made professions such as leatherworking and blacksmithing obsolete and making gold? Yeah, I think they should make professions a way to make gold too. Yeah, I 100% agree. An easy fix to Titan Forging would be a way to upgrade item level through a point system. Yes, of course it would be. But the reason that they don't do that is they want everybody to be playing this endless slot machine that you just eventually get tired of and you stop. Since we're talking about classic WoW, what do you think about pre-nerf TVC encounters like Lady Vashk, Kel'Thas, Asamura, and Kil'jaeden? I'm pretty sure that even by today's standards, those fight would be a challenge for the vast majority of players. I don't know. I mean, we'd have to see. I mean, I thought that those fights were good, but I don't know like the pre-nerf. I never did them pre-nerf, so I can't say how hard they really were. And thank you guys all for the subs, man. Thank you, boys. I really appreciate it. Hi, Ian. Can you explain the reasoning behind the excessive time gating, which seems to be present in BFA and older content as well? Explanation. There seems to be greater perception in the subreddit and primary metric Blizzard developers are trying to achieve is higher active time played. I know I phrased that wrong, but I know you guys know what I mean. Rather than creating extra content keeps player wanting to play and wanting to play more, time gates are implemented in order to force players to spread out their time played, and now are an effort to artificially keep subscription numbers up. Now, in a significant portion of the player base, the types where the types who would grind content relentlessly, finish everything they could do, and then cancel the subscriptions, this idea would make sense. But there's no possible way that anyone could ever completely run out of things to do in WoW. There's a staggering amount of content in the game from vanilla all the way to the expansions. Outside of the extreme minority that have time to play for 10 plus hours a day, it would probably take many years for an average player to do everything, even if all time gates were removed. The funny thing about time gates is they actually make most people want to play less, not more. They're doing what they enjoy, and then they hit a wall whenever the game tells you, now you have time to stop, go do something else. What if instead of a hard wall, they just started getting diminishing returns on whatever they're doing? So basically, this is a question around time gating. The only metric we care about as a development team is whether you're having fun.
That's a big cap right there.
But how do you measure that metric? Because fun is subjective. Playtime is not. So how do you measure the subjective word fun with a metric? That's the big question. Okay, think about that, boys. Even if you don't believe me and take a more cynical approach from a business perspective, one of the nice things about a subscription model is their only commercial incentive is to make a game that as many people think is possible is worth their time and money, which pretty much comes back to us just wanting you to have fun. If you feel forced to play more than you want in order to keep up and you burn out, that certainly doesn't do anything positive for us, no matter how many minutes you might have spent logged on along the way. We certainly got our share of feedback during Legion from raiders with limited time who vastly preferred the WoD approach, where you could pretty much log in and raid and you didn't have to worry about character progression along the way with other axes. On the other hand, if you get bored waiting for new content and find something else to do, that's a problem too. Part of how we designed the pace of our content is with an eye towards multiple player types and a game with a huge array of different play styles. Things like weekly lockouts and raid content have been a part of WoW ever since the very start to ensure that people who don't have unlimited playtime can progress at a comparable rate. These days, our systems tend to be a balance of time-limited incentives that kind of are the system of diminishing returns that you're mentioning. If you want to do world quests, you can keep doing your emissaries. Okay, so he's saying that there are diminishing returns. Ditto for PvP. On the collecting side, people with less time can pretty efficiently do mount and Mog raid runs, while those who want to spend more time have dungeons and other systems that are infinitely repeatable available, not to mention alts. 194. Negative. Woo!
Ooh. Damn.
Not good. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. Make it 195. No, it's okay. I'm not gonna downvote him. One of the nice things about a subscription model is that our only commercial incentive is to make a game that as many people as possible think is worth their time and money. So let's just cut the bullshit. Warforging and Titan Forging was created to artificially increase the time that you spend playing, while not necessarily making any... Yo, that donation, was that $100 donation, was from like an hour ago.
Damn,
What the fuck, dude?
That's how many subs you got.
That's actually insane. Jesus Christ, thank you again, man. Thank you. And now it's just as good as a Twitch Prime sub. So basically what I think they're doing is that they're artificially extending content. I think that it's also not an accident that the raid came out relatively about a month or so after the expansion came out, and all of the other content like Warfronts are coming out about a month after the expansion came out, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Whenever personal gain and coincidence converge, it's not a coincidence. And you know what? It doesn't seem like a surprise to me that they're trying to artificially extend subs by making sure that all the content doesn't come out until the second month of the expansion. Like, you just can't, you can't tell me that's not what it is. I mean, come on. It's fucking obvious. Come on. Yeah, raid's out on day one. Well, I didn't say it should be out on day one, but at the same time, like the Warfronts, like why are you going to hold back Warfronts? You just make them to give different rewards, right? Because they're obviously going to scale up the rewards anyway. Make them give 325s at the beginning. The reason they're not doing that is because they want to artificially extend how long people are playing. That's it. Double Bay think I should resub too, man. Warfronts used to have a duration of 2 days on beta instead of 7. Yeah, that could have been for testing purposes though. Forgive me, but this is a complete dodge of the question asked. The question was regarding the massive amount of time gaining with Battle for Azeroth and how it is necessary to do most of the endgame content in the game right now thanks to Champions of Azeroth rep. You do a good job of mentioning some time content from WoW's past, but none of that is what's being questioned. We aren't questioning raid lockouts or how long it takes to get the other transmog pieces. The issue addressed is that you have locked a massive amount of content behind arbitrary time gating with Azerite power, rep grinding, etc. Please address that question. Okay, they did not address that question. Even whenever he said please. The only metric we care about, okay, this is gonna go with bullcrap. Gonna go with bullcrap considering you don't report sub numbers anymore and have stated that sub numbers are not an accurate representation of the state of the game. If it was, then you would post them up on your quarterly reports instead of or alongside the monthly active users that you throw up there. Why didn't you mention why you have rep gated and time gated everything in your last 2 paragraphs? When are you going to address those concerns? Here, I'll help you. You put out such a small amount of content within the game that you must force people to slow down or they would already be done with it in the first month, therefore lowering your monthly active users and hurting your quarterly reports and pissing off the only people that actually have an opinion you care about, your shareholders.
Holy fuck!
Whoa, this guy got gold for that too, man.
God damn!
This dude doesn't play games, man. He goes
Who is
in.
that?
I don't know. Let me see. Like, this guy just, he doesn't, like, who is this guy? He's just, this entire comment sums up the entire MMA. Okay, what is this here? Okay. So that, yeah, that's just like whatever. Like, I thought it was going to be more interesting than that. Okay. Let me go with the rest of these. There you go. Whether you're having fun. There you go. We all know how it works. We all know you guys refuse to admit a damn thing to anybody. You have thoroughly failed at the only metric you care about. Fun is not to be had in BFA. After a single month into the game, people are already logging in for the minimum amount of time, like it's the end of the expansion instead of the beginning of the expansion. This is Legion 1.5, sorry, that must have been a typo, 0.5, not an expansion. You could have released all of this as a patch to Legion, and it would have been more acceptable than having people put up the cash for a brand new expansion. This dude is pissed.
I might give this guy gold. If I wasn't banned on Reddit, I'd give this guy gold. Probably.
That's big, dude. That's big. This is sad. Did he respond to this? He did not respond to that one. Okay. This is about shamans that are quitting the game. And oh my god, this has 500 negatives. Okay.
Shit.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Hello, Ian. Shamans suck and they're bad. How do you plan to resolve the issues that shamans suck? Do you want to rebuild trust because shamans don't trust Blizzard because they suck? As a shaman, are you not enjoying the game? Okay, yeah, are you enjoying the game, Ian? Let's hear about that. I want to preface this by noting that these days, my focus is on the full breadth of the game, and so I'm not the best person to get into details of specific class changes, so I likely address philosophy more than a specific rotational problem. I'm obviously sorry it feels that way.
Oh,
He's sorry.
oh, that makes everything better.
We're sorry. We're sorry. We're
Oh.
sorry.
Oh.
Okay, we really don't play favorites internally. Every spec and class in the game is worked on by multiple people, and our goal as a team is to always push forward to a wondrous endpoint where we have 36 specialization that each have flavor and various strengths. Well, the problem is the flavor of the shaman class is dog shit, and everything else is vanilla or chocolate or cookies and cream. What do you mean? Yeah, they have a flavor. I mean, come on. Like, you've got dog shit, asphalt, and bleach. That's basically the 3 shaman specs. It's a bad time. Increasingly, WoW effectively has 36 classes to maintain and balance, and certainly have the case of full hybrids like shaman. The considerations that go into each of these 3 specs may vary heavily. Okay. We all knew Restoration were coming up on the low end of the initial weeks of BFA and applied some measured buffs to AoE healing in particular, but we expected the value of their mastery to rise significantly once higher end rating and Mythic Plus became a competitive focus, and we wanted to make sure not to overbuff them. Resto still has a strong and varied toolkit. See? That was the shit part I was talking about, toolkit. And should particularly excel at healing whenever the group is clumped, a common scenario in raids. We agree that they're lagging a bit behind. Okay, a common scenario in raids. Let's think. What bosses do you actually have to group up with? So, in Mother, I guess you group up sometimes. In Talok, you basically never grew up. Oh, you do group up in Talok, that's true. Zekvaz, you group up. Fetid Devourer, you generally group up. Okay. Zul, you group up. Yeah, all right. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of grouping overall. Sure. Okay. For Elemental Enhance, they could both use their niches to be more clearly defined, and there are some rotational/talent issues that have been raised, which are beyond the scope of hotfix level tuning, and will have to wait for an upcoming patch.
What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke.
What do you mean, man? They're gonna fix it next month. Or the month after that. Or the month after that. Or they might fix it at some point. I don't know when, but there is a chance that they could fix it. It's completely possible that it could be fixed. We knew Restoration were coming up. Oh, I read that one. Restoration has a strong and varied toolkit. It's worth noting that they're currently an extremely strong PvP hero, which is another facet of balance we have to take into consideration. So they're balancing the game around PvP more than PvE. So because they're good in PvP, that means that they can't be good in PvE too. So if you don't like PvP Shaman or PvE Shamans, just go PvP and you'll be happy. That's basically what it is. Okay, that makes perfect sense. That's great. For Elemental and Enhanced, they could both use their niches more clearly defined, and there are some rotational and talent issues that we've seen raised, which are beyond the scope of a hotfix level tuning, and we'll have to wait for an upcoming patch. Thank God. That's just great. Broadly, we've tried to define areas in which specialization should excel: single target cleave, AoE spread, clumped and burst and sustained, and areas which they should lag behind. We've restored some unique tools like Tremor Totem and Soothe that are open to going forward more as needed. Philosophically, there should always be a reason why a group is happy to have X class and spec present, and situations where a group says, man, I wish we really had Y to deal with this. At the same time, it's essential that classes have weaknesses or everyone ends up being too similar to one another. That's true. Elemental Shaman is intended to be a less mobile spec, for example, while Hunters overall have mobility as an explicit strength. So whenever we receive feedback the less mobile spec wishes that they were more mobile, frankly, that's working as intended. So the issue with that is that so Hunters can run around, and they do more damage than Shamans, and they can move. Whereas Shamans don't move at all, and they don't do as much damage as Hunters. You know what you call that?
What?
Balance. Really only works if you feel like having offsetting strengths envied by other classes that justify the reduced mobility. Well, there are no strengths for an elemental shaman. The only strength that an elemental shaman has is towards the rest of the raid because they know not to invite them. And it certainly doesn't help if they aren't communicating that vision of what strengths and weaknesses are intended to be. We know we need to do better there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Ascendance? Oh, wow. 15 seconds every 3 minutes are almost as good as a hunter. Oh, wait, here we go. Offsetting strengths. Shamans get trounced in damage, mobility, and soaking immunity by hunters. What's the offset? Shamans of a healing class, DPS spec shamans can heal a tiny bit while sacrificing even more damage. Right, it's a valid criticism that DPS spec shamans don't feel like they have sufficient offset strengths right now. I wasn't saying that we do. We have work to do there. True. Very true. Hunters get to press way more buttons in raids. Yeah, I mean, they're just better. Hunters are better than shamans. Okay. Many people feel Island Expeditions failed to deliver on their promises. Well, Ian failed to deliver a response. So there we go. Okay, let's see. What else did he say? Wait. Are his posts getting downvoted? Can I not read them? I'm scrolling down. I don't see... Was that it? There's got to be more than this. Oh, personal loot rules. Okay, so they don't care about that either. Alrighty. What the fuck? Go to the top. It has the link to all the posts. Okay, let's go up there. Damn, we went the long way down. Okay. Okay, Devo lore. What is this here? So, let me see. So Ian's mostly referring to raw data here. As you can imagine, with a player base as large as WoW's, we're able to collect massive amount of data once each player has their hands on new expansion content release, etc. Put another way, we do our best to make educated guesses based on the player data and feedback that we get during beta. Once the game is live, we get a much clearer picture. That lets us be more precise in our tuning. So, here's the problem. Nobody is saying that you don't have the data. There are two concerns that players have, and I'll just make this completely clear right now. The two concerns are, number one, the way the data is being accrued, the way the data is being gathered, is fundamentally broken in some way or another. And the second way is that the way the data is being interpreted is misguided. It's not that you don't have the data, it's that the data is either misguided fundamentally, or what you do with the data is misguided. Nobody said this. See, this is the thing, right? Is you're attacking the easy thing without addressing the hard thing. Oh, well, of course we have data. Well, of course you have fucking data. But the game's not a spreadsheet. Come on. Okay, straight off concern to have feedback. Let's see. And how do you need data? How much data did you need? Like, did you really not have enough data that you had to buff arms mastery by 1,000%? Back, giving each spec an area to excel in doesn't mean we want you to be dead weight whenever you're put in other situations. It's very delicate to balance, to nail, but the goal is to create an environment where you can feel awesome when your ideal situations arise, but still contribute otherwise. There will probably always be environments where that can't be 100% successful, such as World First Raiding, where guilds are min-maxing raid compositions on a per-fight basis, but we're still committed to doing our best. So they just want to have they want to have lower highs and higher lows, Basically, they just don't want to have like the balance be completely broken, which is completely fine. I have no problem with that. What they're saying makes perfect sense. There's nothing wrong with this at all. I'm completely okay with them saying this. Are you playing the game today? Well, I hope not. Okay, let's see what else I have here. Okay, next one. The kind of questions posted yesterday. General scope. Okay, good. Yethesans, we like this guy. Okay. Yethesans, I met this guy. We like him. So... yeah, everybody should always upvote what he says. Or not always, but, you know, he's a good guy. Be nice to him. Let's see. What is this here? Questions go on. However, probably generalized focus AMA. Yeah, we like him. Okay, where's the next one here? Obviously, that too. Whenever it comes to discussing class changes, be prepared to talk about them all, which is a slightly bigger undertaking. Not using that as an excuse, but just sharing how we prepare for doing things like that on our side. Oh, so these are just new abilities. Okay, I got that. All right, more questions. Kaivax, I don't know who that is. Warfronts testing. Itemization, tooltips. Okay, we read that one. Content pacing and time getting. We read that one. Professions, offensive uses, defensive spells, Paragon system. Azerite 2. Disparity between Alliance and Horde mounts. Blizzard communicating with players. Closing comment. Okay, here we go. Here are the good ones. Right? It's a valid concern that DPS shamans don't feel like they have sufficient offsetting... Oh, I read them. Okay. Oh, jeez. Randy. I met Randy Jordan at BlizzCon.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He thought he had met me before because he had watched my stream so much.
Oh, no.
I said sorry. I apologized to him. I apologize to Randy. Because he has to, like, field community feedback, right? He's like, we met before? I'm like, no, dude. But no, he was actually really, really cool. Like, I liked him a lot, to be completely honest. Like, he was actually very polite to me and, like, very nice. I used to have Danson's back in the day. Awesome. Remember OG community? Yeah, I like him a lot. Unlike you, that's literally his job. Yeah, I know, it's funny. We've been working to get it done today. Okay, that's good. And let's see, lore. What is this here? Hello, Ian. For the past two expansions, there have been a trend of issues being ported out by testers in the community only being ignored by Blizzard. Later in the expansion, the dev team recognizes and apologizes for these same issues that the community was giving feedback on since before release. Then we get a promise to have it fixed next expansion, along with a band-aid fix if we're lucky. Can you explain why this keeps happening, and the reason why feedback from testers and experienced and recognized players is not taken more seriously at a point in time that could actually make things better? I'm not Ian. That's true. And I'll apologize in advance that I don't have a perfect solve for this ready to go, but I want to at least say that that addressing this issue, the feeling that we're ignoring your feedback is and has been one of our primary goals in the community team. Okay. We weren't happy with our communication in Legion, particularly towards the end of the expansion, and tried some new approaches for BFA, which are beneficial in some ways, but hurt our outward-facing communication a lot more than we expected. I could do some hand-waving here around internal processes or organizational structures, but the key point that I want to get across is we're not okay with that. We obviously have improvements to make, and probably always will, and it is and will continue to be a top priority for us. Again, apologize that I don't have a silver bullet to share today, but I recognize the current state isn't working for you, and that's not okay.
The fuck is that?
Wait, what is the comment here?
Oh no! Fucking lore, dude! Fucking lore, dude!
Here's the thing, man. These guys have more fucking red tape than the goddamn White House. I mean, this is so fucking ridiculous. You make video games. Just go over there and tell people what they think. This isn't a government body. Blizzard is not the fucking government. Just go out there and tell people what the fuck is going on. There's so much red tape. There's so many, oh, well, this person isn't ready to talk to the community. Oh, well, you know, this isn't really in line with what we were saying. And, you know, like, give me a fucking break. Just go out there and tell people what the fuck is going on. Like, this is so ridiculous that there's so much trouble. Just say it. Like, they treat this like... They take this PR too fucking seriously. They do. It's just way too serious. There's too much red tape for them to be able to communicate with the player base. That's the thing. They have created these barriers and these walls for the developers and the people at Blizzard to communicate with the player base. And because they have all these walls and red tape and rules, then they can't communicate. And this is why the problem keeps happening, because they need to change it at an internal level. That is what the issue is.
What's a good company that has like good, or what's a company that has good like communication between
Grinding Gear Games. Path of Exile.
Well, what do they do?
They listen to the community and they respond to feedback.
That's a lot different than what Blizzard does. Got him.
Okay. Oh, they need to remove the red tape. That's the issue. Is they have so many rules that they have that are dictating communication, like player communication, that there's no way for them to be able to communicate in any sort of a casual manner. Everything has to be like double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked a million times, and signed off on by a supervisor for them just to tell people what the hell is going on. That's the problem. I'll be 100% certain on that. Okay. PoE's free to play. Yeah, PoE's free to play. But those no, dude, like, bro, like, I bought one of those armor sets. It was like $40. Like, yeah, right. It's free to play. Yeah, right. Like, because all the pieces in that gear look stupid.
Wait a second.
What?
You spent money that people have given you on transmog armor and Path of Exile?
Yes, and on top of that, they are introducing a new armor set pretty soon. It's like a red fiery crown. It's almost like kind of like Ragnaros in a way. So it's going to be pretty expensive. And so if I do play the new league, I do need a few more subs to be able to pay for that, guys. So whenever you guys get the chance, if you have Twitch Prime or, whatever you want to do, just make sure that, I think it's about like $45. I'm not 100% sure though. But yeah,
Holy shit, what is wrong with you?
What do you mean? No, well, I mean...
I just got you almost 2,000 subs. You want more?
Well, now you're trying to make me look bad.
I'm not trying to make you look...
Yeah, you are.
No. Don't sub right now. Don't sub right now. He doesn't fucking deserve it right now.
Yeah, I do. I need this. I need the item. Because I was going to play pretty soon. Like, if I'm going to play, like, I don't want to play without the good armor. Because, I mean, like, there's only, like, 3 items that look good in the game. Like, I need to... Yeah, I mean, I want to have the good armor. Because, like, I got the character to, like, level 95 or 96 or something. Like, I mean, I want him to look good. Like, he's, like, rolling 15s like it's nobody's business. Stream it? Maybe I will, dude. Maybe I will. It's a good idea.
Oh, would you? I would love to play with you.
That'd be great, dude. Virgil Merrill, think we should fight. There it is, boys. We got it. We got the weapon.
Is Righteous Fire good?
I see a lot of people playing it, yeah. I don't know, like, I think, like, Occultist Righteous Fire is really good right now, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do hear that it's better than it was last patch. Or last league incursion. People say it is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, where's the next one here? So, what did he say last year? To maybe give a little more hope, we've had several meetings and discussions yesterday about ways to improve our internal processes so we can converse more freely and immediately on in-development changes. Some of those improvements have already been made, and I'm personally hoping the difference will be noticeable over the next few weeks. We weren't happy with our communication in Legion, particularly towards the end of the expansion, and we tried some new approaches for BFA, and a lot more than expected. I could go into some hand-waving about internal processes or organizational structures, but the key point I want to get across is we are not okay with that. We obviously have improvements to make. Okay, so, not good. Thank you.
I love the comments under it.
I feel bad, dude. I feel bad. Copy and paste reply. Yeah, I mean, there it is, dude. Go on. And they just can't tell publicity that their internal structure is shit. Well, they don't need to tell people that the internal structure is shitty. They just need to fix the internal structure. Okay? Thank you to everyone for the time and energy that went into all these questions. Thank you again to the r/wow moderators for wrangling this beast of a thread. I tried to refresh the thread and go down the list of top upvoted questions best I could, but I know that I missed a majority of the questions due to the sheer volume. I apologize if I wasn't able to cover the topic you wanted to hear about. Whenever it comes to a lot of the questions asking for specific change, I know that my replies often trend towards explaining why we did a thing. You're upset with what we did rather than just saying that we're going to change it immediately. At the end of the day, if that simply feels bad, an explanation from me probably isn't going to fix that. Well, then what will? Change can and will still come to many of these areas, but that's something for the appropriate folks on the development team to discuss and not something for me to just unilaterally declare here. From Azerite to Warfront pacing to island expeditions, gameplay and rewards to shamans and other classes, we have a lot to talk about. As I mentioned at the outset of this AMA, this is the beginning of an ongoing conversation. In some of my responses today, I referred to plans for our upcoming content update. That patch will be on the PTR very soon, and we'll be doing live stream on Tuesday, September 18th, where we'll discuss the major pieces of content in the patch. I look forward to continuing the discussion. That's good. I'm happy about that. Obviously, they're coming out with the new patch. That's always great. I mean, I'm very, very happy about that. It's fucking amazing. Awesome. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, this is where they get the next carrot. Okay, let's make sure that I got the rest of these. I think that I have. Okay, so let's see what people's responses were for this. Save yourself some time by reading the grand scheme of the AMA right here. And this has 8,000 upvotes. We're crafting systems with an eye towards the grand scheme of the game as it unfolds. Oh, wait, I didn't read this. I recognize right now, literally 1 month in the expansion to the day, a whole week feels like an eternity, let alone waking 2 weeks to get the shot at it on your faction. We're crafting systems with an eye toward the grand scheme of the game as it unfolds through the course of many months, and viewed each warfront in the same vein as something like rotating events like time walking, which comes around every 3rd week. Island expeditions were crafted as an always available component to core content, while warfronts were envisioned as more of a periodic special event. In 2 days, Alliance will begin their contributions. Oh boy. Let's see. And a week from now, you'll be jumping into the warfront yourself. The initial rollout was regrettable, and we should have had a minimum itemable requirement on the experience sooner. Yeah, because that was the main problem. In the grand scheme of things, the number of true fresh alts secured up during the 48 hours whenever it was unrestricted is small and far from a competitive perspective. Of course, it's only 340 here. Most folks who have been doing other in-game content for weeks prior to the Warfront had a little need for the repeatable 340s. Okay. So, alright. That seems fine. So then they quoted here, and they said, we're crafting systems with an eye towards the grand scheme of the game as it unfolds over the course of many months. Cool. Can we pay $15 per grand scheme instead of $15 per month then? Whew.
Damn.
Oh, man.
God damn.
Oh, man. That's dirty, man. That is dirty. Okay. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. Manliest Boy donated $100. So Asmon just wanted to donate for the first time and say you motivated me to start streaming. My channel isn't anything special right now, but I'll grow. Thank you. Well, good luck, man. Holy shit. Thank you very much for the $100, dude. Oh my god. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I really, really fucking appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Icy Belts donated $2. Sup, y'all. It's me, it's your local BFA pet dealer. Wondering what your favorite uncollected pet from BFA is that isn't achievement-based. Would love to help you out with your pet collection. Honestly, my favorite is any one that I don't have. Like, I don't even really have, like, a specific favorite. I just want whichever ones I can get, because I'm going to get every single one anyway. Thank you very much for the $2, man. Icy Bolts. I appreciate it, though. I really, really do. I would gladly give you money to stream PoE. I need that in my life, Dad, please. Maybe I will. Fergo, thank you very much. The gifted subs. I bought BFA and quit after 2 casual days of playing, so I'll pay for the subscription to someone who seems to enjoy it. I'll relay that to my dad. Just kidding. Thanks, Bo. Appreciate it. Let's spend that on Wendy's after the stream. Imagine purchasing the expansion and subscribing, leveling to max level, then having a developer tell you that your class won't be viable until the first major patch if it ever happens. Got him. Love you and Mcconnell, man. You guys play FJ really well. Thank you very much, bro, man, for the 2 hours. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A chance to save yourself. Okay, that's enough, too. Thank you very much, Nuri, for the 10. I appreciate that. This guy's Gachi, you have his fans disappointing. I can't look at clips. Sorry about that, man. Play Untouchable, everybody will be happy. That's okay. I'll play it maybe later on. Says he wouldn't mind a random dude touching his dick, but he can't handle Gachi. Well, it's not like I can't handle it. It's that I don't want to. It's not like same as I don't really want people to touch my dick, but if they did, it's okay. Speech?
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
boys. This expansion has been fraught with failures. Riddled with disappointment. And it's been sad. Going into Battle for Azeroth, I had very low expectations, and those expectations have been met. Unfortunately. It's disappointing. It's unfortunate. And it's where we're at right now. Blizzard thought that if they came in there and they did an AMA and they told us exactly the same things that we didn't want to hear, that we'd be happy. Well, that's not what's going to happen. The truth is that this is not enough, it's not good enough, and it needs to be better. Right now, this is probably one of the worst situations that the game has ever been in. I really think right now that there has never been a point where... I don't want to listen to this song right now. I want to listen to this. There has never been a point where the game has had this much frustration, this much second guessing, this much resentment, this much cynicism. And it needs to stop. And where it's going to stop is at the developers. It's going to stop whenever they stop treating players like their adversaries. It's going to stop whenever they start talking to people. It's going to stop whenever Blizzard cuts the red tape and they let developers and players talk in a casual and a reasonable way. It's going to stop whenever they stop painting the player base as that one jackass that sent them a personal threat instead of the thousands of people that love their fucking game. That's the only thing that's going to stop it. It's going to stop whenever they stop treating players like rats in a fucking Skinner box. It's only going to stay like that for so long. They're starting to regain the idea that this ever fucking turning hamster wheel that they've been put on never ends. And the carrots don't taste as good as they used to. They're not Titan forged. They don't have a socket. They don't have a tertiary. It's too much. People are waking up. They're realizing what's going on. Things that I was talking about 2 years ago, people are realizing are happening now in BFA. That's why not as many people are caring about Mythic Plus. That's why not as many people are doing this kind of stuff. That's why PvP is so much more exciting. Nobody wants to sit through 20 minutes of the same fucking dungeon to maybe get a piece of gear that doesn't matter because it's not Warforged and it doesn't have a socket. It's trash. It's garbage. And people are tired of it. Give people something to work towards. Give people something to aspire to. Give people something to achieve. Slot machines, it's not enough. I'm not saying no slot machines. I'm saying that shouldn't be what defines the game. It's enough. PvP vendors need to come back into the game. A vendor that sells the different rewards that you get from the island expeditions for the doubloons that you get should come back into the game, or should come into the game for the first time ever. The PvP rewards for the island expeditions are fucking pathetic. Why would anybody do a PvP island expedition whenever there's no guarantee of success? Whenever anybody who's item level 350 or above can complete a mythic or a heroic, which is actually even more effective. It's just too much. Rep rewards should matter. They shouldn't be DOA. Oh yeah, you get exalted with the 7th Legion, you get a 350 piece of shit. It's too much.
Preach!
This is it. This is never going to end until Blizzard can communicate with the player base and stop creating an adversarial relationship between the player base and between the developers. That is the only thing that matters. If they do that, everything else will be fine. That is the one thing that needs to happen. If that happens, everything else will fall into place. Okay? That's all it is.
Gamers. What do they got to do, Asmon?
Rise up! Rise up, boys. We can't let this happen. Let me make sure that I didn't get any more of these. Remember whenever WoD was supposed to unfold after... Remember whenever WoD was supposed to unfold after many months? That's true, dude.
Yeah.
Very true. So, here's the thing, right? Is that I feel like there's a lot of people that almost hate this expansion more than WoD. And it's kind of weird to me because I don't completely hate BFA. There's a lot of really, really stupid things in BFA, but I've played this game forever. Like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's PvP is good, I'm happy. Raiding is okay. I hated Mythic Plus anyway, so it doesn't matter if that sucks. Island Expeditions are good as PvP content, but nobody does them. That's basically how I feel. BFA isn't bad? I didn't say that. WoD Objective had one of the best starts. One of the issues people in Tana and Jungle was supposed to be there for launch. That's true. Let's see what else people say. BFA is fine, just Reddit freaking out. Well, what about, like, how do you know that it's fine if every single large-scale community website is saying that it's not fine? So, I mean, the general forums aren't happy. Reddit's not happy. Twitch isn't happy. Who's happy? Right? I don't understand it. I mean, really. Like, I don't get it. And I know that there's a lot of people, like, I mean, that's the thing with me, is, like, I'm enjoying the expansion a little bit more than I was enjoying Legion, to be completely honest, at this same time. And same with WoD. But it's, I mean, that's just me, right? I'm not the majority. Yeah, I don't think you can really say, like, oh, well, anybody that's complaining is just a minority. I think that's a very, very weird way to look at it. That's what people said about WoD. Remember that? And then they lost like 2 million expansions, 2 million subs in like 4 months. Pay for the game, pay for the expansions. Yeah, true. Are grand schemes now morally gray? No, they're morally green. Many months, so the expansion will be fun to play right before the next one hits, I guess. Pretty much, yeah. It's about right. Let's see, what else do we have? What's the rest of this? Farcical. Well, I think that... So here's the thing with this this thing right here, where the only metric we care about is whether you're having fun. I think that's partially true. I do. I think there's a lot of developers out there that really do care if players are having fun. The issue is that that is still not what drives the content. I don't think that having fun is what drives the content. What drives the content is participation and the amount of people that are doing it. And if a lot of people are not doing the content, then they're not going to keep doing it. That's what I think is happening.
Where the fuck is Jeff, man? Where the fuck is Jeff? We need Jeff. The game needs fucking old Jeff, man.
It does.
Old Jeff.
It's like he called the player base shit at BlizzCon. Like, that is what we need. We need somebody who's real. Because, like, you knew that he was up there, and he wasn't talking, you know, oh, you know, company man or anything like that. He said, yeah, oh, the guy that sucks, like, yeah, don't give him gear. Like, I mean, you knew it was real. And that's the authenticity is missing.
His fucking name was Tiggle Bitties. Do you know what kind of trouble you would get in these days if your name was fucking Tiggle Bitties? A shitload. He had cojones, dude.
He didn't give a fuck, dude. He's playing Overwatch now. I don't know, man. It's disappointing. It really is. The Problem in the Mist. I might watch that at some point. But right now I want to go through all this. Nixie, remind me in like a day or two and I will watch that. Fun detected. Well, that's basically what happens. WoW is a theme park MMO, but the only issue is that whenever you find a ride that you like, Blizzard shuts it down. Okay. See, here's what it is, right here. As a software developer, that really made me roll my eyes. You like that? How would you even measure that in a way that's useful for guiding a development team? They measure it with participation. See, that's what I said before. Like, anybody, like, you can see this shit in a second. It's very, very clear that they're measuring fun. Fun, they're measuring as participation. That's the problem. As you go through Mythic progress, You could say that. So their strat is to bait people into buying the expansion and then release Flesh Appeal. I think I should reset. Appreciate that. I feel like we need Metzen back. Everything that come out of his mouth got me fucking pumped. It's not like he was a storyline developer. I mean, Metzen mostly did storyline stuff. That was my understanding. Like, I mean, and cool. That's awesome. But I mean, it's not like this like the game wasn't good because of him specifically, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool if Metzen came back, but that's not going to happen. And devs say this is normal for the game to unfold after a course of many months. LOL. So essentially, I'm paying $50 plus sub money for patch 8.3, which is months/years away. Well, you could get something like 6.2, where WoD actually never really came out. You know, only half the expansion came out. That's, I think, what people are concerned about. Is they don't even know if that's going to happen. Years away. Let's see. Let's go down here. Too many people have asked about anchorweed spawned and the devs completely ignored it. Not even a working as intended. I don't even know what anchorweed is. I have no idea.
It's dank, trust me.
Do what?
It's dank shit, trust me.
All right. I'll take your word for it. They have been using this kind of excuse so often. You cannot yet get X because Y works a different way and it limits us whenever we want to deliver X. Why don't you create Y too, guys? Aren't there cool Alliance ground mounts? Yeah, there's that too. I don't really... I think that's too nuanced for me to really think about on stream. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's look at the other posts and what other people think about it. Frosty K so far in BFA.
I love that meme, dude. That's one of the best fucking memes, dude.
He's not happy, dude. Not happy at all. 76 seconds of waiting, yeah. Wait. Oh. It actually says waiting. That's a minute and a half of waiting. Wow. Okay. That's great. Speaking of which, that bee is pretty wonderful, isn't it, Ian? All right, what is this?
It's another fucking horse!
No, bro, it's a bee.
That is a fucking horse.
No, it's a bee. It's got wings. It's a bee. It's black and yellow. It's great.
Uh-huh. You know what it is.
You know what it is, yeah. It's perfect. Questline for training a bee that ultimately can't fly. Okay. Playing a balanced druid in PvP currently feels like, what is this? That's actually good. I like that. It's badass. Let's see. My takeaway from BFA, why I'm quieting WoW. Okay. Let's see. Daily reminder to remember the sun well. Okay. The Ian AMA made me feel embarrassed. Wars post from the AMA deserves more attention. Okay, these are the last two I'm going to look at. Then we're going to go back to the game. Let's see. I know I'm in the minority whenever I say this and bring on the downvotes. Oh. That's true. Well, actually, it's 50% upvoted. Yeah, there's a lot of people disagreeing with this. Some of the requests on the AMA were simply insane. How can you think making reputation account-wide is a good thing? Okay, I agree with that. Warfront sometimes tremendous. People posted compromises. Yeah, that was obviously what people wanted. People just say account-wide rep, and then Blizzard addresses account-wide rep instead of what people kind of wanted, which was the faster way to farm rep, which I think would be completely fine. Yeah, it's too much. These are the two posts. Oh look, War said the same thing a year ago about feedback being ignored. And yet, despite claiming they were making steps to improve communication, it's only gotten worse since then. Posts like Wars destroy any belief that I had that criticisms on Blizzard's communication are actually being taken seriously. True. They've been espousing the same sentiment ever since Ghostcrawler left. There have been some bright spots, but they never last long. Well, I think actually the Q&As are great. I really like the Q&As because it's free content. And also, sometimes they answer a few good questions in between the allied races once. I hate grinding rep. Why does everything have to be gated by a rep amount? Everything isn't gated by a rep amount. Okay. So let's see here. So goddamn vague. Well, this is the thing, right? Everything is vague, so you can never really understand what's going on. I don't know. It's kind of frustrated. Look at the post that says, wow. Wow. That's good. Okay, Arathi Highland should have shared the Timeless Isles design philosophy. Wow, that sounds like a good idea. Well, at least we know they won't do that. Let's see what else we have here. Whenever the war gets put on hold for the AMA. Okay, remember the sun well. Yeah, there's nothing else really that's worth looking at here, right? List of major important changes, information in Blizzard revealed. Paragon reputation, Azrael classes. Okay, so we pretty much went over all that. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like, it's one of those things.